Chapter 20. Ning Xian, I didn't expect you to be so daring to challenge me. On the high platform, Lin Shan revealed a disdainful expression. Do you think you can defeat me just because my right hand is injured? I can tell you very clearly that you are too naive. Today, I will let you know that trash will always be trash. The entire Ning family is trash. Xiao! As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Shan rose from the ground and charged towards Ning Xian at an extremely shocking speed. Butterfly steps, a high-grade yellow-level movement martial technique, when executed to the extreme, can allow a Houtian initial stage martial artist's speed to be comparable to a Xiantian initial stage martial artist. Ning Xian is in danger this time. He's only at the peak of body tempering stage 10, while Lin Shan is at the early stage of Houtian. That's right. Although Lin Shan's right hand is injured, his butterfly steps are enough to make up for his weakness. It's impossible for Ning Xian to win. Provoke him and find an opportunity to strike his lower abdomen. Recalling Ning Yu's words, Ning Xian rose from the ground and quickly retreated. Although the butterfly steps was a high-grade yellow-level movement skill, and its speed was very fast when used to the extreme, Lin Shan had not practiced it to the large success stage. At best, he had only reached the small success stage. His speed was comparable to an ordinary Houtian middle stage warrior. On the other hand, Lin Shan had been stuck at the peak of body tempering stage, 10th stage, for 2 years. Because he was unable to break through to the Houtian realm, he had changed to a movement technique. His speed was not much slower than Lin Shan's. What? Am I seeing things? Ning Xian's speed is actually on par with Lin Shan. It's the 9 revolutions movement technique, a high-grade, yellow-ranked movement technique. Some people with sharp eyes noticed an inkling. Ning Xian had similarly executed a movement technique, a high-grade yellow, rank movement technique. Ning Xian had been practicing the 9 revolutions movement technique for 2 years and had already surpassed the initial success. He was about to reach the advanced stage. Naturally, his speed was much faster than Lin Shan. Haha, Lin Shan, why can't you catch up to me? Who among us is trash? Ning Xian said with a smile. Ning Xian knew his own situation. He was definitely not Lin Shan's match in a head-on clash. Even though his speed was much faster than Lin Shan's, once his vital energy was exhausted, he would still be a live target. It was impossible for him to be a match for Lin Shan, who was at the early stage of the Houtian realm. Therefore, he could only choose to believe Ning Yu and provoke Lin Shan. Trash, do you only dare to dodge? Lin Shan stopped and shouted in a low voice. If you have the ability, let's fight face to face. Why should I fight you head-on? I'm not sick in the head. Ning Xian ignored Lin Shan and continued to dodge. Ah! Lin Shan crazily activated his spell and chased after Ning Xian with his butterfly steps. Patriarch, if this goes on, Ning Xian will definitely lose. In my opinion, how about we let him admit defeat? On the high platform, Ning Tang's face was filled with worry. As a Xiantian realm martial artist, he could see the problem at a glance. As long as Ning Xian's Yuan Qi was exhausted, he would be defeated. He might even be killed by Lin Shan. Let's wait a little longer. With a grave expression, Ning Hai felt that Ning Xian would not be defeated so easily, because he noticed that Ning Yu whispered something in his ear before Ning Xian went on stage. In other words, Ning Yu was guiding Ning Xian. Ning Yu was guiding Ning Xian. If someone had said this to him 3 days ago, he would have thought that the person was stupid. But now, after seeing Ning Yu defeat Lin Shan with 1 move and advance from body tempering stage 5 to Houtian realm in 3 days, he was not surprised at all. Instead, he thought it was normal. Hee, Ning Hai, have you lost your mind? Beside him, Lin Zhen laughed and said, if Ning Xian does not admit defeat, he will disappear from Tianxian City. TSK, I am a little excited when I think about the disappearance of the number 1 genius of the Ning family. In fact, Lin Zhen was not thinking for Ning Hai, but he was provoking Ning Hai to prevent him from letting Ning Xian admit defeat. Anyone with a discerning eye could see that Ning Xian would be defeated, or even killed, sooner or later. It is Ning Xian's business whether he admits defeat or not. It is none of my business. Ning Hai snorted coldly, his face gloomy. Ha ha ha, the head of the Ning family is really bold. I admire you. Lin Zhen cupped his fists at Ning Hai and said with a sinister smile. On the other side, Lin Yang said to Lin Feng, Brother Feng, when did Ning Xian become so smart? He actually used this move. Lin Feng said indifferently, It is useless no matter which move he uses. Lin Shan's primordial qi is stronger than his. It is unrealistic for him to keep dodging, and he will be defeated sooner or later. When you meet the Ning family, don't hold back. Kill them immediately. Brother Feng, I know. Lin Yang said fiercely, I have been unhappy with Ning Xian for a long time. Once I meet him, I will definitely teach him a lesson. Ning Yu's strength is not weaker than yours. Don't be careless. Through the exchange just now, Lin Feng had roughly judged that Ning Yu's strength was slightly weaker than his, about the same as Lin Yang's. If Lin Yang was careless against him, it was very likely that he would lose. Brother Feng, don't worry. I have already practiced the family's tiger tremor fist to the 8th move. It is impossible for Ning Yu to be my opponent. Lin Yang was somewhat unconvinced as he said, The tiger tremor fist was a high-grade yellow rank martial technique. There were a total of 10 moves. Indeed, after practicing the 8th move, he could even fight against a middle-stage postnatal martial artist. Not to mention that Ning Yu's cultivation was only at the early stage of the postnatal realm. The tiger tremor fist has reached the 8th move. Not bad, not bad. Lin Feng nodded and said indifferently, Let me go meet Ning Yu first and get a feel for him. The corner of Lin Yang's mouth rose as he walked towards Ning Yu. Brother Yu, quickly think of a way. If this goes on, Brother Xian will be in danger. Ning Xian and Ning, who could see the situation on the stage and were very anxious. The corner of Ning Yu's mouth rose as he said with certainty, It's fine. Brother Xian will be fine. The one who will lose in the end will definitely be Lin Shan. But Brother Xian is obviously at a disadvantage. Ning, who is also at the peak of body tempering stage 10. No matter how he looked at it, it was impossible for Ning Xian to win. With a slight smile, Ning Yu did not explain much. He closed his eyes and secretly adjusted his state of mind. Humph, aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? You said that Lin Shan will lose. Based on what? At this moment, a gloomy voice sounded in Ning Yu's ears. Slowly opening his eyes, Ning Yu looked at the figure in front of him. His face turned cold as he said, Lin Yang, you think that Lin Shan will win? Of course. How could that trash Ning Xian be Lin Shan's opponent? Lin Yang said. Lin Yang rolled his eyes and said, Ning Yu, how about we make a bet? Bet on what? Ning Yu did not bat an eyelid. If Ning Xian wins, this iron blood sword will belong to you. With a flick of his wrist, a blood-colored flying sword appeared in Lin Yang's hand. This iron blood sword is a top-grade yellow rank magic treasure. In a sense, even a low-grade profound rank magic treasure is inferior to it. If Lin Shan wins, I don't need you to give me a profound rank magic treasure. I only need you to kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times and shout, Grandpa Lin Yang is mighty and domineering. Chapter 21. The Iron Blood Sword, a top-grade yellow rank artifact. I wonder if Ning Yu dares to make this bet. Haha, anyone can see that Ning Yu will definitely lose, and Lin Yang is provoking Ning Yu. With Ning Yu's temper, he probably won't be able to endure it, right? He has to endure it, even if he can't. If he kneels and kowtows in front of so many people, how will he have a foothold in Tianqian City in the future? Whispers came from the surroundings. Generally speaking, everyone thought that Ning Yu would not agree. Frowning slightly, Ning Yu did not answer immediately. Haha, since you don't dare to make the bet, I won't force you. Seeing Ning Yu's expression, Lin Yang smiled and said, You better pray that you don't meet me in the battle later, or else I'll let you know why flowers are so red. The Iron Blood Sword is a top-grade yellow rank artifact. Although it's not convenient for me to use, Ning Xian should be able to. Thinking of this, Ning Yu nodded and said, Since you want to give the Iron Blood Sword to me, if I don't accept it, wouldn't it be embarrassing for you? Ha ha ha, as if he had heard the funniest joke in the world. Lin Yang laughed wildly and said with a gloomy expression, I'm looking forward to seeing if you can still be so calm when you kneel and kowtow to me later. Shrugging his shoulders, Ning, you couldn't be bothered to speak to him. Elder Hiroshi, in your opinion, can Ning Xian win? Somewhere, Lu Wei frowned and said, The chances are slim. Shaking his head, Elder Hiroshi said solemnly, Unless a miracle occurs, it will be harder than ascending to heaven for Ning Xian to win. Is Ning Yu stupid? Why would he make a bet with Lin Yang? Stomping her feet, Lu Wei was a little angry. Eldest miss, let's wait and see for now. Ning Yu is not a simple person. He wouldn't do something he isn't confident in. Elder Hiroshi was also very confused, but for some reason he chose to believe in Ning Yu, even though it was a little unbelievable and even he felt a little foolish. Although he's talented in alchemy, there's still a huge gap between him and the geniuses of Dongwu College in terms of martial arts. His judgment is also poor. How could Ning Xian possibly defeat? What? This is impossible. However, before Lu Wei could finish her words, she blankly stood on the spot as if she had seen a ghost. Her gaze was firmly fixed on the stage. On the fighting stage, Ning Xian found an opportunity and punched Lin Shun's lower abdomen. Layers of force continued to advance. Bang! In the end, Lin Shun's body was like a kite with a broken string as he fell heavily off the stage. Are my eyes playing tricks on me? How is this possible? Are you seeing things? Ning Xian actually defeated Lin Shun. Did the Ning family take some miraculous medicine today? First, Ning Yu defeated Lin Shun with a single move. Subsequently, Ning Xian knocked Lin Shun off the stage and smoothly advanced to the next round. Look, Lin Yang is dumbstruck. An initial stage congenital realm cultivator chuckled as he pointed at Lin Yang. Following the direction of the cultivator's finger, everyone saw Lin Yang standing dumbstruck on the spot with a lifeless gaze, and he hadn't recovered from his shock. Something that was originally thought to be in the bag had actually undergone a dramatic change. Lin Shun lost? Lin Yang didn't dare believe it and muttered, Swish! Right at this moment, Ning Yu rose from the ground and flashed past Lin Yang like a bolt of lightning. TSK, the Iron Blood Sword is really a top-grade yellow rank magic treasure. Ning Yu waved it twice in the air and said, Lin Yang, thank you. What? My Iron Blood Sword. At this moment, Lin Yang recovered from his shock. Looking at his empty hands, he angrily said, Ning Yu, you're courting death. How dare you steal my Iron Blood Sword? Ignoring Lin Yang's rage, Ning Yu walked towards Ning Xian. Older brother Xian, I'll give you this Iron Blood Sword. Try to break into the next round. Enter the top 4 and seize a spot in the icy cave. Ning Yu said, No, little Yu. You should use this Iron Blood Sword. It's enough for me to defeat Lin Shun. I don't need anything else. Ning Xian hurriedly declined. He knew very well that without Ning Yu's guidance, he wouldn't have been able to defeat Lin Shun. I'll give it to you. Just take it. I don't like using a top-grade, yellow-rank magic treasure. Shoving the Iron Blood Sword into Ning Yu's hand, Ning Yu waved his fist and said, I prefer to use my fist. You stole my Iron Blood Sword. Today I want you dead. Tiger, tremor fist. Suddenly Lin Yang roared, like a ferocious tiger coming out of its cage. his iron fist punched towards Ningyu. Feeling the strong wind coming from beside him, Ningyu's face turned cold, and he was somewhat angry. The iron blood sword was lost to him in a bet by Lin Yang, and now he actually attacked him? Did he really think he was easy to bully? His yuan qi surged and gathered in his right palm. Ningyu punched out, meeting Lin Yang's iron fist. Among the younger generation of Tianqian City, you are the third person who dares to exchange fists with me. As if he could see the miserable state of Ningyu's fist when it shattered, Lin Yang said coldly, Tiger Tremor Fist, a high-grade yellow rank martial skill. Among the three geniuses of the Lin clan, Lin Feng learned the high-grade yellow rank martial skill, Yin Wind Claw. Lin Shun practiced the butterfly steps, and Lin Yang practiced the Tiger Tremor Fist. If it's just based on strength, even Lin Feng wouldn't dare to confront Lin Yang head-on, right? That's for sure. There were once two early-stage, post-liminary realm cultivators who fought with Lin Yang, and both of their hands were crippled by Lin Yang in one move, and they became useless from then on. In my opinion, Ning Yu will be the third to be crippled. Kacha! In the next moment, a cracking sound resounded in the Tianqian Plaza. Sigh, Ningyu has really been crippled. Originally, the Ning family was counting on him to rise. Yeah, this time, the Ning family really suffered a double loss. No, the one who was crippled is Lin Yang. The crowd looked over and saw Lin Yang clutching his right hand, his face ferocious, and beads of sweat dripping down his forehead. Sai, why are you doing this? The iron blood sword was originally lost to me by you. I'm just taking back what belongs to me. With a light sigh, Ningyu shook his head and said, Whoosh! At this moment, the entire Tianqian Plaza was completely quiet, and even the sound of breathing could be heard. If Ningyu had defeated Lin Shun because of Lin Shun's carelessness, then defeating Lin Yang now was fair and square. Furthermore, Lin Yang had launched a sneak attack, and his right hand had been crippled. From this, it could be seen that Ningyu was really strong. At this moment, everyone had the same thought. Ningyu might be able to defeat Lin Feng. After all, Lin Yang was at the peak of the early-stage post-liminary realm, and Lin Feng was only at the mid-stage post-liminary realm. It was not impossible to defeat Lin Yang in one move, and then fight head-on with Lin Feng. Boy, you're so young, and yet you're already so arrogant. What will you become in the future? However, this silence did not last long before it was broken by a furious voice. Immediately, Lin Zhen pounced on Ningyu like a hungry dog. Lin Zhen, if you dare to touch him, I'll kill you. Ning Hai's expression changed dramatically, and he rose from the ground as well. Violent yuan qi brought bursts of strong wind and instantly swept out. Chapter 22. Tails Ning, you did not intend to retreat from Lin Zhen's sneak attack. Instead, he waved his wrist and sent a palm strike at Lin Zhen. Swoosh! Am I blind? Ning Yu actually dares to fight with Lin Zhen. You're not blind. Ningyu is indeed planning to fight with Lin Zhen head-on. He's crazy, he must be crazy. Even if he advanced to the early stage of the Hotian realm and defeated Lin Yang in one move, it's still impossible for him to be Lin Zhen's opponent. It's impossible for him to withstand even one move. What else can he do? He can't just sit and wait for death. Seeing that Ningyu was advancing instead of retreating, and was actually thinking of exchanging blows with Lin Zhen, the entire mysterious Sky Plaza cast sidelong glances at him, their faces filled with astonishment. After all, Lin Zhen's cultivation was at the middle stage of the Xiantian realm, while Ningyu was only at the early stage of the Hotian realm. The gap between the two was huge. Humph! Ningyu, you won't die if you don't court death. Lin Zhen coldly snorted. Soon after, his body appeared in front of Ningyu in a phantom-like fashion. His leg was accompanied by berserk yuan power as it viciously swept towards Ningyu's head like a whip. In order to kill Ningyu, Lin Zhen had used all his strength and did not hold back at all. Actually, wanting to kill Ningyu in public was something that Lin Zhen had carefully considered. According to the secret intelligence, although the barbarian corpse king did not kill Ningyu, it had injured a certain expert from the Ning family. If he guessed correctly, that expert must be the ancestor of the Ning family, Ning He. The strongest expert of the family was injured and might even die. Therefore, Lin Zhen's apprehension was immediately reduced to the minimum. As long as I kill Ningyu, Ning Hai will not say anything. The corner of Lin Zhen's lips curled up as he thought to himself, I'll collect some interest first. The day my father comes out of seclusion will be the day the Ning family disappears from Tianqian City. Bang! Lin Zhen's swift and fierce attack landed squarely on Ningyu's fist. The majestic power spread along Ningyu's palm. Even the ground under Ningyu's feet cracked. Pucci! Even though he had executed the netherworld samsara palm, the powerful force from his arm still caused Ningyu to feel a sweetness in his throat as he spat out a mouthful of blood. The reason why he was able to withstand the barbarian corpse king's attack without being injured was because the barbarian corpse king had only used 10% of its strength, while the current Lin Zhen was using his full strength. One move. With just one move, Lin Zhen had caused unbearable pain in Ningyu's internal organs. Intermediate Khanate realm cultivators are indeed powerful. I'm only at the early postnatal realm now. I'm far from being able to face a Khanate realm cultivator head-on. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Ningyu's expression turned cold as he thought to himself, if it wasn't for the spiritual transformation technique that reduced most of the force, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Ningyu actually managed to block Lin Zhen's sure-kill attack. Not simple at all. Even an early Khanate realm cultivator might not be able to block a sure-kill attack from an intermediate Khanate realm cultivator, right? Yes, Ningyu must have used some kind of secret technique to block it. Right now, he must be an arrow at the end of its flight. His fighting strength is 0. The surrounding discussions caused Lin Zhen's face to turn fiery hot, an exceptionally ugly sight to behold. How could he be happy when his full-force attack failed to kill Ningyu? Moreover, since Ning Hai had arrived, it was unrealistic for him to strike again. Feeling helpless, Lin Zhen quickly retreated to the high platform. Swoosh! Swoosh! At the same time, the Zhao family head, Zhao Lai, and the Wang's family head, Wang Qinian, rose from the ground and appeared beside Lin Zhen. Ning family head, please calm down. Lin Zhen was just joking with your son. He wouldn't really kill him. Wang Qinian acted as a peacemaker and said with a smile, That's right. If Lin Zhen wanted to kill your son, he would have been dead by now. How could he be standing there as if nothing had happened? Zhao Lai chimed in. That's too much. Ning Hai roared in anger. Then he struck 3 palms at Lin Zhen and the rest. Bang! 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 The faces of Lin Zhen and the rest changed. They quickly gathered their primordial qi and struck the giant palm print in the sky. Swoosh! 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 After one strike, Lin Zhen and the rest took a step back. Their faces were full of shock. Ning Hai, I didn't expect you to advance to the advanced stage of the Khanate realm, Lin Zhen said with a pale face. Ning Hai, don't think that you can start a war with the 3 families just because you have advanced to the advanced stage of the Khanate realm, Wang Qinian said angrily. If the 3 families attack together, we can destroy the Ning family in minutes. Zhao Lai said. Ha ha ha. Can I take your words as provocation? Ning Hai laughed and said coldly, Who will go first? Father, I'm fine. At this moment, Ningyu said to Ning Hai on the high platform, I'm just sparring with the Lin family head. It's not a big deal. Swoosh! Ning Hai's figure flashed and landed next to Ningyu. Are you really fine? Ningyu said, Father, don't worry. I'm really fine. It's good that you're fine. It's good that you're fine. Ning Hai said excitedly. Interesting kid. On the outskirts of the Tianqian Square, a middle-aged man dressed in black stared at Ningyu with interest. He was very interested in this early-stage Hotian youngster. No matter what the result would be, just this courage alone was enough to make him look at him in a new light. Moreover, Ningyu was still standing there as if nothing had happened, which surprised him a little. I wonder how his talent in alchemy is. I can consider it. If someone noticed this middle-aged man, they would be very surprised because he seemed to have merged with the air. His whole person was inconspicuous and did not attract anyone's attention. This kind of state was obviously only possible when one had reached the peak of the true martial realm. Ning Hai, does the Ning family still want to participate in the tournament? Although he did not know how Ningyu was able to block his move, Lin Zhen believed that Ningyu must have been seriously injured. Any Hotian martial artist could kill him. Participate. Of course I want to participate. The corner of Ningyu's mouth rose, and the killing intent in his eyes was not concealed. He said to Lin Zhen, I still want to meet the genius of the Lin family. Good. Really straightforward. Not knowing why, Lin Zhen felt a chill in his heart when he was stared at by Ningyu. He felt a little unnatural. But thinking of Ningyu's condition, he clapped his hands and said, Next, Ningyu of the Ning family. Lin Yang of the Lin family. Hua! Lin Zhen's words caused an uproar in the Tianqian Square. Just now, Ningyu defeated Lin Yang in one move. Lin Yang should have taken the initiative to admit defeat, right? Admit defeat? Can't you see that Ningyu is like a lamp that has run out of oil? After taking a blow from Lin Jin, his internal organs are almost completely destroyed. That's true. Looking at Lin Zhen's appearance, I'm afraid this match was arranged by him. Ha ha ha, the heavens are really helping me. Laughing wildly, Lin Yang gloomily said, Ningyu, I was defeated by you in one move just now because I was careless. This time I won't be so careless. Whether you are careless or not, the result will be the same. Shrugging his shoulders, Ningyu walked towards the stage. Chapter 23. You want to sign a life and death contract with me? You want to sign a life and death contract with me? Stopping, Ningyu turned around and asked, Are you sure? I'm sure. I want to have a life and death duel with you. Lin Yang gnashed his teeth. From the moment he was defeated by Ningyu in one move until now, he had been thinking about killing Ningyu and getting back at him. Now that the opportunity had come, he naturally had to seize it. In his opinion, Ningyu was already an arrow at the end of its flight, a lamp without oil. It was impossible for Ningyu to cause any harm to him. Therefore, he proposed a life and death duel with Ningyu. Lin Yang is too shameless. He proposed a life and death duel with Ningyu at this time. This is called being able to see the facts clearly. Ningyu can refuse. If I were Ningyu, I would not agree. I would definitely admit defeat on the stage. Of course, only a fool would not admit defeat. Everyone had the same opinion as Lin Yang. Ningyu was holding on, and it was impossible for him to cause any harm to Lin Yang. Moreover, Lin Yang's strength was not just for show. He was at the peak of the early-stage Hotian realm, only one step away from the mid-stage Hotian realm. Please don't agree. In the distance, Lu Wei secretly said, With Ningyu's talent in alchemy, he can definitely enter Danwu College. There is no need to fight with Lin Yang here. Old Mo also felt that Ningyu would not agree. He knew that Ningyu was a person who had a sense of propriety and was a person with his own opinions. He should be able to recognize the current situation. There's no need to sign a life and death contract. Waving his hand, Ningyu leaped onto the stage and said lightly, Because you can't even say the word admit defeat. Swish. As soon as Ningyu's voice fell, Lin Yang was directly dumbfounded. How arrogant must a person be to say such words? He actually laughed at me for not being able to say admit defeat. Humph! Aren't you afraid that the wind will cut your tongue? With a cold snort, Lin Yang rose from the ground and jumped onto the stage. Aya, why can't you recognize reality at all? Lu Wei was very angry, fuming. Elder Mo, I hope. Although she was angry, Lu Wei still said to Elder Mo, Young mistress, don't worry. I won't let anything happen to Ningyu. Elder Mo knew how important Ningyu was to Snow Domain Pavilion. No matter what, he would protect Ningyu. In view of the appearance of the Corpsine sect, he had already requested the higher-ups of the Snow Domain Pavilion to transfer experts to protect Ningyu. Calculating the time, the experts of Snow Domain Pavilion would arrive at Tianxin City in 3 days. Elder Mo was confident that he could protect Ningyu for 3 days. Personality, I like it. At the edge of the square, the black-clothed middle-aged man found Ningyu more and more pleasing to his eyes. Ningyu's temperament was similar to his. I have to find time to meet him in advance. The middle-aged man made up his mind that he must first contact Ningyu to see how his talent in alchemy was. On the stage, Ningyu and Lin Yang stood face to face. Lin Yang's face was gloomy. His whole body was filled with killing intent. On the contrary, Ningyu was very calm. His aura was restrained, as if nothing had happened. Let's see if you can still be so calm later. A cold light flashed in his eyes, and Lin Yang immediately attacked. Tiger, Tremor Fist. 8th Fist. Tiger surpasses the heavens. He didn't attack before, but when he attacked, it was a killing move. Tiger Tremor Fist was a high-grade, yellow-ranked martial skill. It was very powerful. Lin Yang was able to practice the 8th Fist, so it was naturally not a small matter. Ningyu didn't dare to be careless. His legs rushed out like lightning, and from an extremely tricky angle, he went straight for Lin Yang's ribs. Bang! This kick was not fancy. It was completely based on the strength of the body. He didn't even use his origin chi. But it was such a simple move that forced Lin Yang's expression to change slightly. Gritting his teeth, his fist collided with Ningyu's legs. Bang! Because Lin Yang's right hand was crippled, he could only use his left hand to execute Tiger Tremor Fist. So the power was reduced by a lot. Moreover, when Ningyu attacked with both of his legs, his other leg landed right on Lin Yang's lower abdomen, forcing Lin Yang to retreat to the edge of the fighting stage to remove the force. Ningyu's strength is so strong, he can actually block one of Lin Yang's moves. He didn't block one of Lin Yang's moves, but forced Lin Yang to the edge of the cliff. He was almost knocked out of the stage. Could it be that Ningyu still has the strength to fight? Ningyu didn't pay attention to the discussion of the crowd, because at this time he once again rushed towards Lin Yang. Hit the snake where it hurts. Don't hold back. If Lin Jin didn't attack him just now, he wouldn't have decided to kill Lin Yang. Since Lin Jin shed all pretense of cordiality first, then he naturally wouldn't hold back and choose to kill Lin Yang. You still dare to fight me head-on with your right hand crippled? You overestimate yourself. Earlier, he didn't use the Netherworld Samsara Fist. This time, Ningyu formed a hand seal, arrived in front of Lin Yang, and punched out. Sha! The howling fist wind caused the air to rustle as it was torn apart. Facing Ningyu's punch, Lin Yang seemed to be dumbfounded as he stood rooted to the ground. What's going on? Someone exclaimed. Lin Yang can't be possessed, right? Facing Ningyu's fist, he actually didn't dodge. Shouldn't be. Maybe he has some trump card. Soul suppression. It's soul suppression. No one noticed that the black-clothed middle-aged man at the edge of the profound sky plaza had an extremely shocked expression on his face. His mouth was slightly open, and his face was filled with disbelief. The strength of his soul force has reached the level of a grade 3 alchemist. Not simple at all. The strength of his soul force is so powerful at such a young age. With a little nurturing, he will definitely become a genius alchemist. No, I must accept him as my disciple as soon as possible. I can't let others beat me to it. A series of thoughts flashed through the middle-aged man's mind. In short, he had made up his mind that Ningyu would be his disciple. No one could take him away. The moment he made his move, Ningyu frowned and glanced in the direction of the middle-aged man. Could it be that someone saw through my soul suppression? Shaking his head slowly, Ningyu said, "That shouldn't be possible. To be able to see through my soul suppression. The strength of his soul force must at least reach the level of a grade 6 alchemist. There shouldn't be any grade 6 alchemists in profound Sky City. He discovered me." Ningyu's gaze shocked the black-clothed middle-aged man. Thereafter, the middle-aged man murmured, "That shouldn't be possible. Even if his soul force has reached the level of a grade 3 alchemist, it shouldn't be possible for him to discover me. Looks like I'm thinking too much." Bang! In the next instant, Ningyu's fist landed on Lin Yang's chest. A powerful force of Yuan Qi spread out from Lin Yang's chest, then engulfed his entire body. Puchi! Lin Yang's eyes widened as he spat out a mouthful of blood. He lowered his head and looked at his chest, then stretched out his right hand and pointed at Ningyu. "You thump!" However, before Lin Yang's voice fell, his body fell straight to the back. Until his death, he was unable to understand what Ningyu had done to him that caused his brain to short-circuit. Just as he regained his senses, he was struck by Ningyu. Chapter 24. What? Lin Yang was killed in a single move. Isn't this too inconceivable? It is indeed a little unimaginable. It has completely exceeded everyone's expectations. Ningyu's strength has reached such a level. Even Lin Yang, who is at the peak of early-stage Hotian realm, couldn't withstand a single move from him. Look, Lin Zhen's face is livid with anger. A bold martial artist pointed at Lin Zhen and exclaimed, "Swoosh!" Following the finger of the cultivator, the crowd looked over. Lin Zhen's face was ashen. The anger on his face could not be described with words. It was extremely great. "Kacha!" After casually shattering the chair beneath him, Lin Zhen abruptly stood up and said in a cold voice, "Ning Hai, you raised a good son, but he's too daring. He dares to openly kill Lin Yang in the arena." "Hee, Lin Zhen." Lin Yang did not admit defeat. "Why can't you e'er kill him?" Ning Hai said with a faint smile. "Humph. Ningyu used demonic arts. I want to check it." Lin Zhen snorted coldly. "Lin Zhen, do you have any shame?" Ning Hai's face darkened, and he said in a deep voice, "I'll make it clear. If you dare to touch Yuer again, I will kill you even if I have to risk my life." Swoosh! Ning Hai's words made Lin Zhen's heart skip a beat. He glanced to the side, not daring to act rashly. After all, Ning Hai's cultivation was at late-stage Xiantian realm, and he was only at mid-stage Xiantian realm. It was unrealistic to count on Wang Qinian and Zhao Lai. Lin Zhen knew better than anyone else that the 4 major families of Tianqian City were at odds with each other. Although the Zhao family and the Wangs were in the same boat with the Lin family, they were in an alliance. But they wanted him dead more than anyone else. Once Ning Hai made a move, Wang Qinian and Zhao Lai would not help him sincerely. "Good, very good." Clenching his fists, Lin Zhen gritted his teeth and said, "The next battle, Lin Feng of the Lin family and Ning Yu of the Ning family." Hua! Lin Zhen's words caused another uproar. Some of the cultivators even started cursing loudly, not fearing Lin Zhen's despotic power. Lin Zhen is too shameless. Just a moment ago, he arranged for Lin Yang to fight against Ningyu, and now he arranged for Lin Feng to fight against Ningyu. Does he really think that Tianqian City is dominated by him? A peak Hotian realm martial artist said. Puchi. However, as soon as he finished speaking, a cold light flashed and his head fell to the ground. Holding the bloody head with one hand, Lin Zhen looked around and said coldly, "The martial arts round has already been arranged. If anyone is not satisfied, you can bring it up and we can discuss it." Silence. The Tianqian Plaza was abnormally quiet. Some low-level martial artists did not even dare to breathe loudly, afraid that Lin Jun would punish them as an example to others. Nodding his head in satisfaction, Lin Jun turned to Ningyu and said, "Ningyu, I will give you 3 minutes to rest since you just fought." 3 minutes to rest. Only Lin Jun can do that. Sure. Lower your voice. Do you want to die? Yes, lower your voice. In view of Lin Jun's decisiveness, everyone was very careful with their words, afraid that they would be shocked to death. 3 minutes to rest, huh? Frowning, Ningyu waved his hand and said, "No need, I don't need it." As soon as he finished speaking, Ningyu jumped onto the stage. At the same time, Lin Feng also jumped onto the stage. "Ningyu, I didn't expect that we would meet so early. I originally wanted to let you live a little longer, but it seems that your fate is not good." The corners of Lin Feng's mouth curled up, and he said with an evil smile, "Let's bring forward our death match." "I won't bully you. Rest for 3 minutes first, and fight me when you have recovered to your peak condition." Lin Feng waved his hand, appearing very calm. Stretching out a finger, Ningyu slowly shook it at Lin Feng and said indifferently, "No need. I don't need to rest to deal with you." Isn't Ningyu too arrogant? He has the capital to be arrogant. He defeated Lin Shun in one move and killed Lin Yang in one move. His strength is already infinitely close to Lin Feng's. Although he killed Lin Yang, Lin Feng is at the middle stage of the Hotian realm. His strength cannot be underestimated. Arrogant. Lin Feng's face turned cold. He was so angry that his teeth chattered. His figure flashed, and he was about to make a move. However, before he could move, Ningyu said, "Lin Feng, does what we said 3 days ago still count?" Lin Feng said angrily, "Of course it counts. Of course it counts. Death match. Fight to the death." Waving his hand, Ningyu said, "I am talking about the quota for the frozen cave test. If you lose, the Lin clan's quota for the frozen cave test will belong to the Ning clan." "Of course, but it depends on whether you have the ability or not," Lin Feng said, clenching his fist. "Lin Feng, I suddenly feel that I am at a disadvantage in this matter." Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, "Now the Ning clan has 2 quota for the frozen cave test, while the Lin clan only has 1. The stakes are not equal. This battle seems to be unfair to me." "What do you want?" Lin Feng said, trying his best to restrain the anger in his heart. "How about this? The Lin clan will take out a top-grade yellow class artifact, or a few dozen second-grade elixirs." After thinking about it, Ningyu said casually, "It's a death match. At the very least, the stakes should be equal. Only then will I have the motivation." "Good lad, you really have character. I can't wait." At the edge of the square, the black-clothed, middle-aged man's eyes were burning. He wanted to rush up and test Ningyu's alchemy talent. Now, the more he looked at Ningyu, the more he liked him. He was completely to his liking. Elder Mo, how confident is Ningyu in winning? Compared to the previous battle, Lu Wei's worries were much smaller. After all, the power Ningyu displayed had gradually conquered her. It's hard to say. Even I can't see through him. Elder Mo couldn't be sure, because he was still puzzled as to why Lin Yang was out of his wits. Although he also thought of soul suppression. After all, the strength of his soul had reached the level of a 4th-grade alchemist. He only had a vague feeling and couldn't be sure. Moreover, the strength of Ningyu's soul was only at the level of a 3rd-grade alchemist. If he wanted to use soul suppression, he must have extreme control over his soul. On the stage, Lin Feng shook his wrist, and a scarlet flying sword appeared in his hand. This scarlet sword is a low-grade mystic class artifact. As long as you defeat me, it belongs to you. Lin Feng said coldly, "A low-grade mystic class artifact. Not bad. Make your move." Nodding, Ningyu made an inviting gesture. "Arrogant." Roaring furiously, Lin Feng dashed out like a wild horse, out of control. At the same time, the scarlet sword in his hand made a rustling sound. With bursts of violent yuan qi, he slashed at Ningyu's head. Chapter 25. Am I seeing things, or is Ningyu a fool? Ningyu actually used his hand to grab the crimson sword. He must be crazy. The crimson sword is a low-grade mystic class magic weapon. Its power is boundless. How could Ningyu dare to use his hand to grab it? Who gave him the guts? Ha ha ha. I have to say, you are extremely arrogant. With a wild laugh, Lin Feng increased his speed, constantly injecting energy into the crimson sword. As if he could see Ningyu's miserable state when his hand was chopped off, Lin Feng's mouth revealed an evil smile. Crack! However, just as Lin Feng was imagining Ningyu's miserable state, a crisp sound entered his ears, and immediately a strong, rebounding force caused him to retreat rapidly. You! The pain from his hand caused Lin Feng's expression to change drastically. You. A low-grade mystic class magic weapon is a low-grade mystic class magic weapon, after all. With the strength of your energy, you can only display 20% of its power. How can you fight me? Shrugging his shoulders after the strike, Ningyu did not follow up with another attack, but pulled a distance away from Lin Feng. Actually, how could he not want to follow up with another attack? But he had no choice now. The force from his palm caused his palm, and even his entire arm, to ache faintly. Even though he could only display 20% of the Crimson Sword's power, it was still a low-grade, mystic class magic weapon. Blocking it was somewhat strenuous for an early stage, post-celestial being like him. If I'm not wrong, his cultivation level should be at the late stage post-celestial being. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu's expression could not help but turn solemn. Originally, he thought that Lin Feng's strength was not much higher than Lin Yang's, at most slightly stronger. Now it seemed that he was wrong, very wrong. Lin Yang was only at the early stage post-celestial being, but Lin Feng was at the late stage post-celestial being. The difference between the two was 2 levels. The difference in strength was naturally very large. In addition, the density of Lin Feng's energy was enough to reach the peak of the post-celestial being. So it could be said that Lin Feng's overall strength was equivalent to 4 or 5 Lin Yang's. That's what makes it interesting. With a cold expression, Lin Feng dashed out again. But this time he kept his crimson sword and increased his speed to the limit. He wanted to fight Ningyu in close combat. Close combat, huh? Then I'll play with you. Ningyu kept waving his palms in the air, grabbing left and right without any pattern. Ningyu's actions puzzled everyone present. What technique is Ningyu using? Why haven't I seen it before? I don't know. Maybe he went crazy. It's impossible for him to go crazy. After all, he blocked Lin Feng's first move. It should be some kind of mysterious technique, or maybe it's his own creation. Energy gathering hand seal. It's actually the essence gathering imprint. Others might not know, but Elder Hiroshi was extremely shocked. What is an essence gathering handprint? Lu Wei asked in confusion. The so-called essence gathering handprint, as the name suggests, can quickly gather yuan qi. Elder Hiroshi's eyes were burning. He took a deep breath and tried to calm his excitement. He explained, the essence gathering handprint is very useful in alchemy. Because alchemy consumes a lot of yuan qi, and using yuan crystals to replenish it is too late. So some powerful alchemists created the essence gathering handprint. The essence gathering handprint can gather yuan qi in a short period of time, enough to support a cauldron of third-grade alchemy. Elder Hiroshi was also confused. He murmured, the essence gathering handprint is only in the hands of some big sex and alchemy families. Even the Snow Pavilion doesn't have it. How did Ningyu learn it? At the edge of the square, the middle-aged man in black was already numb from the shock. He stood there in a daze. The shock that Ningyu gave him was too great, so great that it couldn't be any greater. Not to mention that his personality was to his liking. Just the strength of a third-grade soul force was enough to shock him. Then he used soul suppression, which made him even more surprised. Now he used the essence gathering handprint. If it wasn't for the fact that his heart was strong enough, he would have died a long time ago. The essence gathering handprint is too precious. If I learn it, it is very likely that I will improve my alchemy. Originally, the middle-aged man in black thought that it was impossible for him to advance in alchemy. Now that he saw Ningyu use the essence gathering handprint, he felt that his chance had come. He must seize this opportunity. Whoever made an enemy of Ningyu would be his enemy. He even wanted to go on stage himself and end this battle immediately, taking Ningyu away. No. Suddenly, the middle-aged man in black seemed to think of something. His expression changed slightly. At such a young age, a third-grade soul force, and the essence gathering handprint. Could it be he already has a master? The more he thought about it, the more he felt that it was possible. Even his expression darkened. In Windclaw. In an instant he arrived beside Ningyu. Lin Feng clawed at Ningyu's eyes. Go. The corner of Ningyu's lips curled up. With a flick of his wrist, a small ball of Yuan Qi flew out and met Lin Feng's sharp claw. Lin Feng's sharp claw caught the small ball of Yuan Qi and could not move an inch. Explode! With a low shout, the small ball of Yuan Qi exploded. The scattered Yuan Qi flew towards Lin Feng's head. Not good. Lin Feng's expression changed greatly, and he immediately retreated, only stabilizing himself when he reached the edge of the dueling ring. You don't dare to fight me head-on. You only know how to use some unorthodox methods. After stabilizing his body, Lin Feng shouted, Do you dare to take my punch? You want to fight me? Slightly stunned, Ningyu did not think that Lin Feng would be so stupid as to want to fight him head-on. Did he not realize that he had defeated Lin Shun and killed Lin Yang with his fists? Moreover, he had also used his fists to block Lin Zhen's attack. Could it be that Lin Feng thought that he was stronger than his father? Ningyu, do you dare? Seeing Ningyu in a daze, Lin Feng thought that he was afraid. He mocked. If you don't dare, I won't force you. After all, you are only at the early Hotian stage. I won't laugh at you. All right, since you have invited me, I will reluctantly agree. Nodding his head, Ningyu said, You fell for it. On the high platform, Lin Zhen's lips curled into a cold smile. You are still too young. You can't even see through psychological tricks. Sigh, Ningyu should not have agreed. Lin Feng is clearly trying to goad him. Ning Tang sighed a little worried. Since Yuer has agreed, he must have his own plans. Let's wait and see for now. Ning Hai said calmly. Hee, when Ningyu is killed, I want to see if you can remain as calm as you are now. Lin Jin smiled. He did not think that Ningyu would win because Lin Feng had a hidden card. Once he used it, even a Xian Tian stage martial artist would not be able to withstand it, not to mention a Ho Tian primary stage martial artist. Ningyu, I admit that I underestimated you. Standing with his hands behind his back, Lin Feng said lightly, You won't be so lucky next. Do you think that I am only at the middle stage of the Ho Tian stage? You are too naive. As soon as his voice fell, an unusually violent Yuan Qi suddenly spread out from Lin Feng's body. Feeling this powerful aura, the expressions of the surrounding martial artists changed. Lin Feng has advanced to the late stage of the Ho Tian stage. Moreover, he is at the peak of the late stage of the Ho Tian stage. No wonder he is so confident. That's right. Ningyu is only at the early stage of the Ho Tian stage. How can he be a match for Lin Feng? If I am not wrong, Lin Feng's 2 attacks were just a test. He did not display his full strength. Chapter 26. I'll let you make the first move. If I make the first move, you won't have the slightest chance, Lin Feng said proudly and confidently. Are you sure? Ningyu asked with his mouth slightly agape. I'm sure. Nodding his head, Lin Feng said impatiently, "If I let you make the first move, then make the first move. Stop being so wishy-washy. Fine, you're courting death. Don't blame me." Shrugging his shoulders, Ning Yu's eyes suddenly turned cold. Stomping his right foot on the ground, he dashed forward. Ning Yu's speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Lin Feng. His fist brought up a gust of yuan qi and punched toward Lin Feng's chest. Ning Yu was very focused because he knew that since Lin Feng dared to stand still and let him attack, there were only two possibilities. First, he was a fool. This was clearly impossible. Second, he was playing some kind of trick. This was very likely. Therefore, Ning Yu's punch was just a bluff. It seemed powerful, but it was actually full of flaws. As long as Lin Feng counterattacked now, he had a 90% chance of killing Ning Yu. Closer, just a little bit closer, and I'll make my move. Lin Feng was able to endure. Even with a 90% chance of killing, he did not take the risk and chose to continue waiting. Shua. However, when he was a meter away from Lin Feng, Ning Yu abruptly stopped. "Why did you stop?" Looking at Ning Yu's action, Lin Feng was somewhat dumbfounded. "I suddenly feel that it might be a little unkind of me to take the initiative to attack." After a slight pause, Ning Yu said, "Because the moment I make my move, you will likely die like Lin Yang." Subsequently, Ning Yu seemed to have made a very important decision. "I've decided. I'll let you take the initiative to attack me." Isn't Ning Yu being a little too much? Lin Feng is giving him a chance by letting him make the first move. That's right. After all, Lin Feng's cultivation is at the late stage of the Hotian realm. Once he makes a move, do you think Ning Yu will be able to survive? It's hard to say. Lin Feng did not gain the upper hand in the two previous exchanges. I'm afraid it will be difficult this time as well. Ning Yu, have you lost your mind? Looking straight ahead, Lin Feng could not imagine where Ning Yu got the courage to let him make the first move. Moreover, he even said such arrogant and conceited words, saying that he could kill him in one strike. Dream on. Good, very good. You are very arrogant. Clenching his fists tightly, Lin Feng calmed himself down and said emotionlessly, "Originally, I thought that I was the most arrogant person in Tianjin City. I didn't expect you to be even more arrogant than me. Not bad at all." Shrugging, Ning Yu declined to comment. 10th move of the Eerie Wind Claw, Eerie Wind Ghost Claw. With a low roar, Lin Feng leaped up from the ground. His sharp claws stretched out first, and his body leaned forward as he charged out. What? Lin Feng actually learned the 10th move of the Eerie Wind Claw, Eerie Wind Ghost Claw. Originally, I thought that Lin Feng only learned the 9th move. Who would have thought that he even learned the 10th move? This time, Ning Yu is in danger. Although the Eerie Wind Claw is a yellow rank upper grade martial skill, the 10th move is comparable to a mystic low rank martial skill. Netherworld Samsara Palm. First move, Absolute Dust. Facing Lin Feng's fierce attack, Ning Yu did not dare to be careless. Bending his legs slightly, the origin energy in his sea of consciousness surged and gathered on his wrist. Then he pushed it out. Immediately, an illusory palm print appeared. Go! Ning Yu shouted softly, and an illusory palm print quickly swept out. In the next moment, Lin Feng's sharp claws collided with the illusory palm print. Bang! When the palm print and Lin Feng's sharp claws collided, Ning Yu's eyes narrowed and he shouted, "Explode!" Then, the illusory palm print suddenly exploded, and a strong gust of wind caused the air to scatter in all directions. Ah! A pig-like scream was heard. Lin Feng quickly retreated. But at this moment, Lin Feng's right hand was bloody. 4 of his 5 fingers were broken by the powerful palm print. Only his thumb was intact. Beads of sweat rolled down Lin Feng's forehead. His face was ferocious. He no longer had the high spirits from before. His eyes revealed an extremely vicious look. Ning Yu, you are finished. No one in this world can save you. Even though his right hand's fingers were broken, Lin Feng was still full of arrogance. It was as if he was the one who had the upper hand. You talk too much. This time, Ningyu chose to follow up with another attack. He did not plan to give Lin Feng any chance. With his right hand's fingers broken, Lin Feng's combat ability dropped by at least 30%, maybe even more. At his peak, Lin Feng's ability was similar to Ningyu's. As for now, Ningyu had 100 ways to kill him. Of course, this was under the premise that Lin Feng had not used his trump card. Once he did, Ningyu might lose. Ningyu knew that as the #1 genius of the Lin clan, he would not believe that he did not have any life-saving treasures. Corpse Lightning Pill. As his body flew out, Ningyu quietly placed the Corpse Lightning Pill he refined yesterday into his sleeve in case of emergency. For meters, 2 meters, 1 meter, 20 centimeters. Now is the time, Lin Feng constantly muttered in his heart. When Ningyu was only 20 centimeters away from him, his left hand suddenly reached into his robe and took out a small jade bottle. Devouring poison. The moment Lin Feng took out the jade bottle, Ningyu's expression changed. He could feel that the jade bottle contained devouring poison. Devouring poison, to be more accurate, was the upgraded version of the poisonous blood poison. If not for his early Hotian stage cultivation, Ningyu would not have been able to completely expel the poisonous blood poison from his body. If he had been poisoned by devouring poison, it would have been impossible to expel it from his body without a Xiantian stage cultivation. It's actually devouring poison. At the edge of the square, the middle-aged man's expression changed. He could also see that the jade bottle contained devouring poison. When he saw Lin Feng take out the jade bottle, he actually wanted to help Ningyu. But after thinking about it, he did not do anything. Through Ningyu's series of actions, he believed that Ningyu definitely had a backup plan. If Lin Feng wanted to use the devouring poison on him, it would be very difficult. I still haven't settled the matter of the poisonous blood poison with you, and now you actually want to use devouring poison to deal with me. With a wave of his sleeve, Ningyu directly threw the Corpse Lightning Pill towards Lin Feng's wrist. Supreme, Guyuan Pill? Looking at the pill flying towards him, Lin Feng was slightly surprised. He did not immediately open the jade bottle. This was because, from the pill that Ningyu had thrown out, he could feel the smell of the Guyuan Pill. In fact, before refining the Corpse Lightning Pill, Ningyu had taken a few herbs from the family's medicine pavilion to refine the Guyuan Pill. It was to add flavor to the Corpse Lightning Pill and make it look like the Guyuan Pill. Now that Lin Feng was the top player, he was momentarily stunned. Explode! While Lin Feng was in a daze, Ningyu moved his soul force and shouted, "Explode!" Then, the Dark Corpse Thunderbolt Pill exploded. Gotcha! Because it was relatively close to the jade bottle in Lin Feng's hand, the jade bottle was not spared and exploded together. Shio! Shio! After the jade bottle broke, the devouring poison inside scattered everywhere. Chapter 27. Not good. Lin Feng was indeed a postnatal realm martial artist. His reaction was extremely fast. The moment the jade bottle shattered, his left hand suddenly threw the jade bottle away. However, once the poison-devouring powder left the jade bottle, it scattered in all directions like a fish in the ocean or a bird leaping into the 9 heavens. Ah! Just as the poison-devouring powder came into contact with Lin Feng's arm, he gritted his teeth and activated his Yuan Qi to activate the Scarlet Sword, forcefully chopping off his left arm. Hiss! This boldness caused many martial artists in the mysterious Sky Square to draw in a breath of cold air. How much boldness was required to chop off his left arm after the fingers on his right hand were chopped off? However, the crowd's attention was quickly attracted by the severed arm in front of Lin Feng. Chi-chi! With a hissing sound, Lin Feng's arm began to corrode at a speed visible to the naked eye. Not long after, his arm disappeared. What exactly is in the jade bottle? Why do I feel a sense of fear? Thinking back to the fear that came from the depths of his heart when the jade bottle shattered, an early postnatal realm martial artist who was closer to the arena frowned. It's definitely not anything good. It should be an evil item, a forbidden item. An early postnatal realm martial artist said coldly, his arm has been corroded to the point it disappeared. If Ningyu is hit, the consequences will be unthinkable. Lin Feng gritted his teeth in hatred towards the clamor around him. A fierce light flashed in his cold eyes, and he immediately rose from the ground, rushing towards Ningyu with a strong gust of wind. Swish! You overestimate yourself. Twisting his neck, Ningyu pushed off the ground with the tip of his foot and dashed out like lightning. A fist filled with countless fist shadows punched out fiercely, breaking through Lin Feng's defense and landing ruthlessly on his chest. Crack! An incomparably domineering force erupted in an instant, wreaking havoc on Lin Feng's chest. Puchi! The sharp pain from his chest caused Lin Feng to spit out a mouthful of blood. His body swayed in the wind and finally flew out with a bang, landing heavily on the arena. What? Lin Feng was defeated. This is impossible. Nothing is impossible. After all, Lin Feng lost an arm and 4 fingers on his right hand. Could it be that Ningyu is a Xiantian realm warrior? Elder Mo, did you see it clearly? Ningyu is only at the primary stage of the Hotian realm? Lu Wei asked with a frown. Nodding his head, Elder Mo said with certainty, Hotian primary stage. He should have advanced in the past 3 days. Lu Wei couldn't believe it. She said, Lin Feng is at the late stage of the Hotian realm. Ningyu defeated him in 1 move. Doesn't that mean that his true strength has also reached the late stage of the Hotian realm? After pondering for a moment, Elder Hiroshi said, From the looks of it, we must rope him in at all costs. Taking a deep breath, Lu Wei's eyes were filled with determination. That is indeed the case. Just now, I used the clan's voice-transmitting amulet, and the reply I received was to rope in Ningyu at all costs. Even if I have to, I will not hesitate. At all costs. Elder Hiroshi's eyes narrowed. He knew better than anyone else the meaning of at all costs. Snow Domain Pavilion urgently needed the good fortune pill and could not afford to delay any longer. Xiao! At this moment, on the fighting stage, Ning Yu's figure flashed. He turned into a cold light and directly attacked the fallen Lin Feng. Since it was a life and death battle, there was no need to hold back. No matter what, he had to kill him. Boy, you dare to kill my grandson? However, just as Ningyu arrived at Lin Feng's side, he was startled in his heart. He felt a swift and fierce gust of wind coming from his back as a rather arrogant voice resounded across the entire mysterious sky plaza. Xiao! As the voice faded, a stooped old man rushed out from the crowd. Violent yuan qi swept out and filled the entire Tianqian square. Not good. It's the aura of the true martial realm. Feeling the yuan qi behind him, Ning Yu's expression changed dramatically. Gritting his teeth, he changed his palm and ruthlessly chopped at Lin Feng's head. Humph, you're courting death. With a cold snort, the old man punched straight at Ning Yu's head. Facing the old man's sneak attack, Ning Yu gritted his teeth and quickly formed a spiritual energy gathering handprint. With a backhand chop, he chopped at Lin Feng's head. Swoosh! Lin family ancestor, Lin Jingtian. Does Ning Yu think that Lin Jingtian is Lin Zhen? How dare he kill Lin Feng in front of Lin Jingtian? He must be tired of living. Ning Yu's actions this time were even more shocking than the head-on collision with Lin Jin that day, and they raised their eyebrows in succession. After all, they were not fools. They could all see that Lin Jingtian had reached the true martial realm. Ah! In the next moment, a squeal like that of a pig being slaughtered rang out. Ning Yu's palm ruthlessly chopped at Lin Feng's head. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. At this moment, Lin Feng, who was in the advanced stage of the Hotian realm, died tragically. "I'll tear you apart." With a loud roar, Lin Jingtian appeared in front of Ningyu like a ghost. Raising his right leg, he ferociously kicked at Ningyu's head. This kick was powerful and heavy, clean and tidy. If Ningyu was unlucky enough to be hit, even if he didn't die, he would be crippled. Looking at the legs that were inches away from him, Ningyu quickly turned around and clenched his fists. His eyes shone brightly. Swoosh! "You want to kill me? Not so easy." With a cold look in his eyes, Ningyu secretly held the Yin Corp's Thunderbolt pill in his hand. As long as Lin Jingtian was just a little bit closer, he was confident that he could detonate the Yin Corp's Thunderbolt pill and injure Lin Jingtian. "Lin Jingtian, if you dare touch you, or I will not forgive you." However, just as Ningyu was calculating the distance between him and Lin Jingtian, a familiar voice came from afar. The familiar voice in his ears did not make Ningyu relax. Instead, it made his expression even more solemn as he shouted, "Father, retreat quickly! Ning Hai, if you want to save Ningyu, you have to get past me first." Lin Zhen did not expect his father to come out at this critical moment. However, he was even more furious that Lin Feng had been killed by Ningyu. Of the three geniuses of the Lin family, Lin Shun had been defeated, while Lin Yang and Lin Feng had been killed. Heavy casualties. After this battle, the Lin family would need at least 10 years to recover. If that was the case, why not kill Ning Hai when Lin Jingtian came out of his seclusion? Thinking of this, Lin Zhen appeared in front of Ning Hai in a flash and suddenly punched out. "Get lost." Ning Hai was very anxious, but he had no choice but to choose to fight with Lin Zhen. Boom! In the next moment, a violent wave of Yuan Qi spread out in all directions with Lin Zhen and Ning Hai as the epicenter. Swoosh! Ning Hai's eyes narrowed as he took a few steps back before stabilizing himself. Uft! On the other hand, Lin Zhen spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. His face was slightly pale. Wiping the blood from the corner of his mouth, Lin Zhen grinned. "Ning Hai, your son is about to be killed. Ha ha ha, damn it." Ning Hai's heart skipped a beat as he looked at the fighting ring. Chapter 28. Wrestle. Lin Jingtian's hands were vibrating in a strange rhythm. Eventually, the Yuan Qi in the air above the fighting ring was affected, making a buzzing sound. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. In the next moment, a fist wrapped in violent Yuan Qi shot out, aiming for Ningyu's head. "In your next life, remember not to offend the Lin family." As if he could already see Ningyu's tragic death, Lin Jingtian's lips curled up and he said coldly, "Hee hee, Lin Jingtian, why don't you do me a favor and let Ningyu go?" However, just as Lin Jingtian made his move, a hearty laughter came from afar. "Today Ningyu must die." Although the voice sounded familiar, Lin Jingtian's killing intent had been triggered. He would not allow anyone to save Ningyu. "Damn it! If you dare touch him, you will be making an enemy out of Snow Pavilion." As soon as he finished speaking, Elder Hiroshi, who was beside Lu Wei, dashed out. A violent burst of Yuan Qi exploded, shattering the stone floor beneath his feet. His body moved like a ghost, his fingers clenched tightly. An extremely violent wave of Yuan Qi swept out, mercilessly attacking Lin Jingtian. Half a step into the true martial realm. Feeling such a strong wave of Yuan Qi, Lin Jingtian's eyes were filled with shock. Force him to retreat first, then kill Ningyu. Although Lin Jingtian was confident that he could kill Ningyu before Elder Hiroshi's attack reached him, he would have to pay a high price. He could be seriously injured by Elder Hiroshi. Although Elder Hiroshi was only half a step into the true martial realm, which was half a level lower than him, his strength was not to be underestimated. After all, Elder Hiroshi was an alchemist with a strong soul force. Cursing, Lin Jingtian temporarily gave up on killing Ningyu. With a wave of his sleeves, a strong wave of yuan qi suddenly swept out from his body. Pum! In the next moment, Elder Hiroshi could only taste sweetness in his throat. He was sent flying dozens of meters by the fierce yuan qi. His body landed heavily on the ground, and the stone beneath him was shattered by the violent aftershock. Shwa! The sudden turn of events caused the expressions of the surrounding martial artists to change drastically. They stared dumbfoundedly at the old man who had fallen to the ground. Their mouths were slightly agape, but no words came out. Snow Pavilion. Elder M.O. Grade 3 Apothecary. Looking at the 3-star badge on Elder Hiroshi's shoulder, the surrounding people couldn't help but gasp. Originally, they were a little confused as to who had stepped forward to help Ningyu. Now it seemed that the truth was out. It was Elder M.O. from the Snow Region Pavilion. It made sense. In Tianjin City, the only force that dared to go against the Lin family was the Snow Domain Pavilion. After defeating Elder M.O., Lin Jingtian did not kill Ningyu. Instead, he asked in a low voice, Elder M.O., this is a matter between the Lin family and the Ning family. I don't think it's a good idea for you to interfere. After all, if Ningyu stayed there, he would not be able to escape. Elder M.O. was the deacon of Snow Domain Pavilion in Tianjin City. Once he was offended, the consequences would be unimaginable. Therefore, even though Elder Hiroshi was forced back by a single move, it was not a big deal. Lin Jingtian did not dare to kill him. Cough, cough. After coughing twice, Elder M.O. stood up from the ground. With a flick of his wrist, a golden badge appeared in his hand. On the badge, there were 3 stars flashing. 3-star badge. Seeing the badge in Elder Mo's hand, Lin Jingtian's eyes narrowed. Elder M.O. said, yes, it is. Let me put it this way. Ningyu is now a 3-star deacon of Snow Domain Pavilion. Then, Elder Mo's tone gradually turned cold. He looked around and said coldly, if the Lin family makes an enemy of young Master Ning, it means you are making an enemy of Snow Domain Pavilion. Whoosh! Elder Mo's words were like needles poking into Lin Jingtian's and Lin Zhan's hearts, making it hard for them to breathe. They did not have the guts to make an enemy of Snow Domain Pavilion. Elder M.O., Ningyu killed my grandson. I cannot let him go like this. Lin Jingtian said in a low voice, unwilling to give up. Lin Feng was killed in a life-and-death battle with Ningyu. Life and death are up to fate. Since it was a life-and-death battle, one of them must have died. Elder Mo's face darkened. After he mentioned Snow Domain Pavilion, Lin Jingtian still did not know what was good for him. This made him very angry. But Ning Yu killed Lin Yang. Lin Zhan said, Master Lin, I think you know the rules of the fighting round better than me. As long as one side does not admit defeat, even if he is killed, he cannot blame anyone else. Elder M.O. said, Good, very good. Taking a deep breath, Lin Jingtian tried to calm himself down. He stared fiercely at Ningyu on the fighting stage and said coldly, Ningyu, don't think that you are absolutely safe with Snow Domain Pavilion. There are many things in this world that you do not know. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Jingtian's figure flashed, and he left the mysterious sky square. The mountains will not change, and the rivers will continue to flow. Let's wait and see. As for Lin Zhen, after leaving behind some pleasantries, his body flashed, and he led the members of the Lin clan away. After the Lin family members left, the mysterious sky square became lively again. I can't believe that Ningyu actually climbed up to Snow Domain Pavilion. It's more than that. Didn't you hear what Elder M.O. said? Ningyu is a 3-star elder of Snow Domain Pavilion. In Snow Domain Pavilion, only a true martial realm warrior or a 3rd-grade alchemist can enjoy the 3-star elder treatment, right? Ning Yu is only at the early Hotian stage. Could it be he is a 3rd-grade alchemist? Impossible. How old is Ningyu? At best, he is a first-grade alchemist. There is no way he is a third-grade alchemist. Hee. This time the Lin family really suffered a double loss. They went for wool and came home shorn. Of course, 2 of the Lin family's geniuses were killed, but Ningyu is still standing on the fighting stage unscathed. As the Lin family members had left the mysterious Sky Square, the crowd dared to openly and boldly discuss. Swoosh! On the fighting stage, as he watched the Lin family members leave, Ningyu quietly placed a corpse lightning pill in his bosom and let out a long sigh. Fortunately, my identity was exposed yesterday. Otherwise, Elder Mo would not have helped me today. Ningyu knew very well that Venerable Mo had made a move today because he found out about his identity and that he had an imaginary master. But no matter what, Elder Mo had saved his life. This was an indisputable fact. Looking at Elder Mo, Ningyu said seriously, "Thank you, Elder Mo. I will return this favor." Waving his hand, Elder Mo said, "It was nothing. Besides, it was the first mistress who asked me to help. If you want to thank someone, it should not be me." Bowing to Lu Wei, who had rushed over, Ningyu said solemnly, "I will try my best to contact my master about your elixir refining." Being stared at by Ningyu, Lu Wei blushed. Feeling a little embarrassed, she said in a low voice, "In that case, thank you, young Master Ning." "Master Zhao, Master Wangs, this time, the Lin family has chosen to withdraw from the fighting round. Do you think we can continue with the remaining rounds?" Chapter 29. It's all Lin Zhen's fault. He actually changed the slots for his own personal gain. Now Ning Hai won't let him go. After secretly slandering Lin Zhen, Wang Qinian laughed dryly and said, "Ning family head, in my opinion, there is no need for the next match. Tao Er's cultivation is low, and he is no match for young Master Ning. We choose to admit defeat." Hua! Wang Qinian's words once again caused a commotion in the Tianqian Plaza. Wang Tao is at the peak of the early Hotian stage, and his strength is comparable to Lin Yang. Why would he admit defeat? If he doesn't admit defeat, will he be killed by Ningyu? Ningyu could even kill Lin Feng, who is at the advanced Hotian stage, let alone a mere early Hotian stage like Wang Tao. That's true. Wang Qinian knows how to adapt to the circumstances. Nodding his head in satisfaction, Ning Hai turned to Zhao Lai and said, "In the next match, Ningyu versus Zhao Xian," before Ning Hai could finish a sentence, Zhao Lai waved his hand and smiled awkwardly. "Xianer is sick today. Therefore, we choose to admit defeat for the next match." Ning family head, something happened in the family. The Zhao family will forfeit today's martial arts round. Just as Ning Hai was about to speak, Zhao Lai continued, "The Wang family has chosen to forfeit as well." Wang Qinian echoed, "Since all 3 of our families have forfeited, the 5 slots for the martial arts round will all belong to the Ning family. The Wang clan and the Zhao clan forfeited. Doesn't that mean that the Ning clan obtained 8 spots for the Frost Caves test?" "That's right. 3 days ago, Ningyu won 2 slots. Today, he won 1 from the Lin family. In addition to the 5 slots for the martial arts round, the Ning family has a total of 8 slots for the ice cave. There are 8 slots for the icy cave assessment. As long as 2 of them pass the assessment and enter Danwu College, the Ning family will definitely dominate Tianqian City in the near future. 2 people pass the test? In my opinion, only Ningyu of the Ning family can pass the test of the cold ice cave. Whether he can enter Danwu College is still unknown. The rest of the generation, like Ning Xian and Ning, who are too far behind." Soon after, the Zhao family and the Wangs fled the mysterious Tianqian Square with their tails between their legs under the watchful eyes of the crowd. At this point, Tianqian City's most majestic icy cave test had ended. The Ning family was undoubtedly the biggest winner, obtaining 8 test slots. At this moment, Ningyu's name would spread throughout Tianqian City, and even the surrounding areas, becoming the object of praise. 3 days ago, Ningyu single-handedly turned the tide and seized 2 spots to enter the frozen cave. Now he showed off his prowess and killed the Lin family's geniuses, Lin Yang and Lin Feng. Moreover, he took a blow from the innate intermediate stage Lin Jin head-on and was not seriously injured. Hence, for a long time to come, Ningyu would become an influential figure in Tianqian City. As for Ningyu, he followed the Ning family back to their home. In the meeting hall of the Ning family, Ning Hai sat at the head of the table, while Ning Tang sat on his left. In the hall, Ningyu, Ning Xian, and the rest of the younger generation stood side by side. Other than Ningyu, the rest of them looked excited. Cough, cough. After 2 dry coughs, Ning Hai said in a clear voice, "First of all, congratulations. You will represent the Ning family to participate in the assessment set up by Danwu College in Tianqian City, the Icy Cave Assessment." The excitement on their faces intensified when they heard the words Danwu College. However, they didn't forget who had helped them win the Frozen Cave's entrance exam. They all looked at Ningyu with grateful expressions. If it wasn't for Ningyu, they would not have this opportunity. Don't be happy too early. Ning Hai felt that there was a need to pour a bucket of cold water on them to prevent them from being arrogant and conceited. Let's not talk about whether you can pass the cold ice cave test first. Even if you can pass it, wanting to enter the Danwu Academy is not that easy. The Icy Cave Assessment is only the most basic part of entering Danwu College. Ning Hai continued, there are countless big and small cities in the Dexia Kingdom. Generally speaking, Danwu College divides the Dexia Kingdom into 5 regions: East, West, South, North, and Central. Even if you pass the Icy Cave Assessment in Tianqian City, you will need to stand out in the second assessment before you can enter the capital and participate in the final assessment. You don't have to worry about these things for now. The most important thing now is to cultivate and work hard to increase your strength. Ning Hai waved his hand and said, "Follow Ning Tang. Each of you will receive a supreme grade marrow cleansing pill and strive to break through to the acquired realm before the Icy Cave Assessment in a month's time." Supreme grade marrow cleansing pill. Hearing Ning Hai's words, everyone, including Ning Xian, was very excited. They did not expect the family to be so willing to spend so much money to buy a supreme grade marrow cleansing pill. Usually it would take some effort to buy a supreme grade marrow cleansing pill. This time they bought 8 supreme grade marrow cleansing pills at once. "Let's go." Ning Tang stood up, said goodbye to Ning Hai, and walked outside. "Yue, come with me to thank Elder Amo and the others. If it weren't for their help, you would have lost your life." After Ning Tang left, Ning Hai said, "Fortunately, your grandfather and Elder Amo are familiar with each other. Otherwise, the Ning family would have suffered a disaster today." Elder Amo also promised to sell us 8 supreme grade marrow cleansing pills. This time, we must thank them properly. Leaving the meeting hall, Ning Hai walked towards the living room. Ningyu followed behind him quietly. Since his father thought that Elder Amo saved him because of Ning he would not point it out. In the living room of the Ning family, Lu Wei seemed to be discussing something with Elder Amo. "Miss, I'm sure the Lin family will not let this go," Elder Amo said with a slight frown. "We must mobilize the forces of the Snow Pavilion in Tianqian City to protect Ning Yu before the experts of the family arrive." Lu Wei paced back and forth. Her face turned cold, and a faint frost appeared on her pretty face. "If the Lin family dares to attack Ningyu, kill them. Miss, mobilizing the forces of the Snow Pavilion in Tianqian City may be a little troublesome." Hearing this, Elder Amo hesitated for a moment and said, "Recently there has been a change in the Elixir Dragon Valley. All our forces in Tianqian City have entered the Elixir Dragon Valley. Right now, the only force we can mobilize is me." A change in the Elixir Dragon Valley. Lu Wei's face suddenly turned gloomy. She took a deep breath and said seriously, the Elixir Dragon Valley is also very important. We have to prepare for both sides. Ha ha ha, this time. Thank you for your help, Elder Mo. Ai Ning, thank you. At this moment, a hearty laugh was heard. Then, Ning Hai walked into the living room. After entering the living room, Ning Hai first bowed deeply to Elder Mo and said solemnly, Today, I Ning, owe you another favor. From now on, if there is anything you need, just say the word, and I will go through water and tread on fire to help you. Brat, come and thank Elder Mo. Chapter 30. With Ning Hai present, Ningyu bowed respectfully to Elder Hiroshi and said, Thank you for saving my life, Elder Hiroshi. With a flick of his wrist, a golden 3-star token appeared in his hand. Elder Hiroshi smiled and said, You are a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion. We cannot watch you be killed. As he spoke, Elder Hiroshi handed the 3-star token to Ningyu. Elder Hiroshi knew very well that now was the best time to tie Ningyu to Snow Pavilion. As long as Ningyu received the 3-star token, he could report back to the higher-ups of Snow Pavilion and complete the first step. Once Ningyu became a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion, coupled with the fact that he had helped him today, his master would definitely help him in refining the pill of good fortune. Elder Hiroshi, you must not. However, before Ningyu could take the token, Ning Hai hurriedly said, It is enough that you saved Er's life today. How could we dare to ask to become a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion? Head of the Ning family, I have already announced Ningyu's status as a 3-star guest in Tianxian Square. Do you want Snow Pavilion to lose face? Elder Hiroshi looked displeased. If Ning Hai was not Ningyu's father, he would have already flown into a rage. The reason why he came to save Ningyu was because Ningyu had a powerful master who could help Snow Pavilion refine the pill of good fortune. But fine. Seeing that Elder Hiroshi was a little angry, Ning Hai swallowed the words that were on the tip of his tongue. Elder Hiroshi, it would be disrespectful to refuse this 3-star guest status, Ningyu said lightly after receiving the 3-star token. Goodbye. Seeing Ningyu take the 3-star token, Elder Hiroshi nodded and walked out of the living room with Lu Wei. I will see you out. Ning Hai hurriedly got up and followed. As for Ningyu, he returned to his room. After today's battle, Ningyu knew that he was still very weak. Although he had already advanced to the early Hotian realm, he was strong enough to fight with a late Hotian realm martial artist. However, if he were to encounter a Xiantian realm martial artist, the consequences would be unimaginable. Power. If I had the strength of a Xiantian or even a true martial realm martial artist, I would have killed that old bastard, Lin Jingtian. Clenching his fists tightly, ever since his rebirth, Ningyu felt that he was not strong enough and urgently needed to improve his strength. With a flick of his wrist, a low-grade origin crystal appeared in his hand. Yesterday, I exchanged over a dozen low-grade origin crystals from Old Mo. Today is the perfect time to cultivate and strive to break through to the middle stage of the Hotian realm. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu slowly circulated the spirit transformation art. Strands of origin energy quickly swept out from the low-grade origin crystal and entered his body through Ningyu's palm. As Ningyu had taken a transcendent grade marrow cleansing pill during the body tempering realm, the blocked tendons and meridians in his body were unblocked. Currently, Ningyu was able to cultivate with twice the results with half the effort. The qi whirlpool in his sea of consciousness was slowly expanding. Kacha! Not long after, a piece of low-grade origin crystal shattered, and the origin energy within was completely absorbed by Ningyu. Reaching into his robes, he took out another piece of low-grade origin crystal. After all, there were over a dozen low-grade origin crystals. Therefore, Ningyu was not stingy at all. After using one, he immediately took out another. Sha! More than 10 pieces of low-grade essence crystals were quickly absorbed by Ningyu. Pum! When the last piece of low-grade origin crystal shattered, the chi whirlpool in Ningyu's sea of consciousness suddenly emitted a muffled sound and expanded by a full circle. Middle stage of the Hotian realm. Feeling the changes in the spiritual chi whirlpool, Ningyu let out a long breath. What a close shave! Because if he lost another piece of low-grade origin crystal, he would not be able to break through to the middle stage of the Hotian realm today. To break through to the late stage of the Hotian realm, I will need at least a few hundred low-grade origin crystals. I must think of a way to buy some mid-grade origin crystals, or even high-grade origin crystals. Frowning slightly, Ningyu decided to buy some mid-grade origin crystals. Because the origin energy within low-grade origin crystals was more chaotic and had a lot of impurities, using it for a long period of time would not only slow down one's cultivation speed, but it might even cause the realm to become unstable. Thinking of this, Ningyu immediately stood up and left the Ning family. Swoosh! Not long after leaving the Ning family, Ningyu's path was blocked by a middle-aged man. Ningyu, why are you in such a hurry? The middle-aged man asked. Lu Shan, staring at the middle-aged man's eyes, Ningyu was slightly surprised and said, "The residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill in your body has been dissolved." Hee, of course it has been dissolved. Smiling slightly, Lu Shan said proudly, "Ningyu, my family's young master wants to see you. I wonder if you can do him the honor." No, that's not right. Staring at Lu Shan's eyes, Ningyu felt that something was wrong the more he looked. In the end, he slowly shook his head and muttered, "This method is rather insidious. On the surface, it dissolved the residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill, but in reality it transferred it to the heart." Although Ningyu saw the problem with Lu Shan's body, he did not point out. Instead, he said calmly, "Lu Shan, if I'm not wrong, the residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill in your body was dissolved by your family's young master, right?" "It was my family's young master who dissolved it for me," Lu Shan said. "My family's young master is holding a banquet in the Drunken Cloud Inn. Ningyu, let's go. Let's go. I also want to see who has such great ability to cure the hidden illness in your body," Ningyu said. "Humph. Let's wait and see." Snorting coldly, Lu Shan led the way in front towards the Drunken Cloud Inn. The Drunken Cloud Inn was the most famous inn in Profound Sky City. The Drunken Cloud Inn had a total of 4 floors. From the first floor to the 3rd floor, they were respectively called the Human Pavilion, Earth Pavilion, and Heaven Pavilion. Among them, the Human Pavilion had 16 private rooms. The Earth Pavilion had 8 private rooms, and the Heaven Pavilion had 4 private rooms. The 4th floor was the Supreme Pavilion, which only had 1 private room. It was rumored that since the establishment of the Drunken Cloud Inn, only 3 people in the entire Profound Sky City had ever entered it. The conditions to enter the Heaven Pavilion were also very harsh. Not just anyone could enter. "Zhang Wenyong, I heard that Ningyu's strength is not bad. He can already kill late-stage, post-celestial martial artists. You have to take it easy." In the Heaven Pavilion's number 2 private room, a youth in embroidered clothes waved the jade fan in his hand and said with a smile, "Profound Sky City is such a small place. How powerful can a late-stage, post-celestial martial artist be?" Zhang Wenyong said coldly, "I can kill trash like Lin Feng with 1 hand. As long as Ningyu dares to come, I dare to show him who's boss." "Zhang Wenyong, don't go too far. After all, Ningyu is the Snow Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator. If you kill him here, Lu Wei will definitely be angry," Ji Feng said. "Kiki." At the mention of Lu Wei, Zhang Wenyong clenched his fists and made cracking sounds. "I want to see what kind of divine being Ningyu is to actually be able to become the Snow Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator. Today, I want to check whether he has the 3 stars consecrated token or not. If he doesn't, no one can save him." Although Elder Mo publicly announced that Ningyu was the Snow Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator in Zhang Wenyong's opinion. Killing Ningyu was nothing. After all, he had just arrived at Profound Sky City today. Even if he killed Ningyu, he could say that he didn't know about Ningyu's identity. Zhang Wenyong, I really don't understand. With your identity as the Zhang family's second young master, what kind of woman can't you get? Why do you only love Lu Wei? Ji Feng said while waving the jade fan. I just like her. Zhang Wenyong said coldly, whoever dares to snatch her from me will be my enemy. Actually, Zhang Wenyong had a sentence in his heart that he didn't say out loud. The Snow Pavilion's pavilion master only had one child, Lu Wei. Obtaining Lu Wei meant obtaining Snow Pavilion support. Chapter 31. In Tianxian City, a restaurant like the Drunken Cloud brothel had guards in front of it. Lu Shan quickly walked to the guard and showed him a token. He then pointed at Ningyu and walked towards the restaurant. I didn't expect these two guards to be at the middle stage of the Ho Tian realm. Ningyu was shocked. Originally, he thought that the Drunken Cloud brothel was just an ordinary restaurant. Now, it seemed that the power behind it was very strong. Even the Ning family and the Lin family, which were big families in Tianxian City, only had guards at the early stage of the Ho Tian realm. In front of a small restaurant, there were two middle-stage Ho Tian warriors guarding it. From this, it could be seen that the Drunken Cloud brothel was not simple. Zhang. Ningyu's eyesight was very strong. Although Lu Shan had only shown the token for a bit, Ning, you could still see the big red words on the token. It seems that Lu Shan's family head should be surnamed Zhang. Frowning, Ningyu searched through his memories, but couldn't find any family with the surname Zhang in Tianxian City. Since he couldn't think of it, Ningyu didn't think about it anymore. There would always be a way out. Counter soldiers with arms and water with an earth weir. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu strode into the Drunken Cloud brothel. Entering the Drunken Cloud brothel, Ningyu saw Lu Shan walking straight to the second floor. At the entrance of the second floor, there were also two guards. However, these two guards' cultivation was higher than the previous one. They were at the late stage of the Ho Tian realm. Showing the token again, Lu Shan entered the second floor. Since he was already here, Ningyu's face was solemn as he followed closely behind Lu Shan. After a while, they arrived at the entrance of the third floor, peak of the Ho Tian realm. At the entrance of the third floor, four guards stood side by side. Their cultivation had reached the peak of the Ho Tian realm. Wait here, I will go and report. This time, Lu Shan's token didn't work well. One of the peak of the Ho Tian realm warriors shouted and turned to enter the third floor. Not long after, the peak of the Ho Tian realm warrior returned and said to Lu Shan, "You can go in." "Yes, thank you." Although Lu Shan was also at the peak of the Ho Tian realm, he was still respectful and didn't dare to act rashly. "He can go in, you can't." Then, just as Ningyu was about to enter the third floor, the post-liminary realm warrior who had just spoken blocked his way and coldly said, "The third floor of the Drunken Cloud building is not a place that anyone can enter." "Big brother, this is a guest invited by Zhang Shao, do you think?" Seeing Ningyu being stopped, Lu Shan hurriedly said. Drunt rules, Lu Shan was Lu Shan, the guard said Lu. 1-Shan, Shan, Shan Lu. The Shan is Lu. 1 smiley face Shan, Lu Shan, this. Lu Kuden. Yin, 2 Shan, Lu, 1, Shan. Lu, Tian realm, Shan. 2, King, Shan. Lu said 1. Yang. Tian Shan. Lu is, Ningyu, wait here. I'll go ask young Master Zhang. As he spoke, Lu Shan did not dare to stay any longer. He quickly walked toward the Sky Tier Room 2. Ningyu shrugged and leaned against the staircase. Since the guards did not allow him to enter the third floor, he would not force his way in. "Gentlemen, I would like to ask what are the conditions to enter the third floor?" Ningyu asked since he had nothing to do. First, the pavilion master's invitation. Second, his status must meet the requirements, a guard said. What kind of identity and status are you allowed to enter the third floor? Ning Yu asked calmly. The 4 clan heads of Tianqian City. The guard who spoke just now continued, and in the end he added, of course, a third-grade alchemist or a true martial realm cultivator is qualified to enter the third floor without the permission of the pavilion master. Oh, nodding his head, Ning Yu chose to close his eyes and rest. Since young Master Zhang invited him here, he naturally wouldn't put him here. This was nothing more than a show of strength, and he didn't care. Look, isn't the one standing at the staircase of the third floor Ningyu? Ningyu? Which Ningyu is it? Even Ningyu doesn't know. The young master of the Ning family refined a first-grade elixir in the alchemy competition for the quota to enter the cold ice cave. In the martial competition, he even killed 2 geniuses of the Lin family. So it's him. What is he standing there for? Could it be that he wants to enter the third floor? That doesn't seem realistic. Even though he has become the most popular person in Tianqian City, he is still a little weak compared to the 4 clan heads. That's right. In my opinion, he wants to enter the third floor, but was stopped, so he's standing there in a fit of pique. After advancing to the middle stage of the Hotian realm, Ningyu's eyesight and hearing had increased a lot. Therefore, he could hear all these whispers. How could Ningyu lower himself to their level? He continued to close his eyes and rest. Ha ha ha! Young Master Ning has arrived. Please forgive me for not going out to welcome you. A moment later, a hearty laughter came from the third floor. Then a young man walked out with a smile. He came to Ningyu's side and said with a smile, What? Do you want to do me the honor of coming in and have a seat? You are. Standing up, Ningyu asked. Humph. Ningyu, this is my young master, Zhang Wenyong, young master Yong. Lu Shan coldly snorted. Pa! A crisp sound was heard. Zhang Wenyong had slapped Lu Shan's face and angrily said, How can you speak to young Master Ning like that? Hurry up and apologize. Yes, yes. Lu Shan viciously looked at Ningyu and hurriedly nodded. There's no need. Young Master Zhang, may I know why you invited me here this time? Waving his hand to stop Lu Shan, Ningyu indifferently said, If there's nothing else, I'll return first. Invite you? You're not worthy. Zhang Wenyong cursed in his heart, but he did not show it on his face. Instead, he said, I heard that young Master Ning displayed great power in the competition for the slot to enter the ice cave. Even the advanced stage, Hotian Realm Linfeng, was no match for you. I've heard a lot about you and specially came to pay a visit. If it's just a visit, I don't think it's necessary. We don't have any interactions, anyway. This will only waste each other's time. Ningyu said. If that's the case. Hearing Ningyu's words, Zhang Wenyong's face turned cold. His whole body released his aura and he coldly said, Are you not giving me Zhang Wenyong face? In the capital, those who do not give me face will not have a good ending. Threatening me? Raising his eyebrows, Ningyu was a little displeased. He did not know Zhang Wenyong's identity, nor did he know where he came from. He did not offend Zhang Wenyong, right? But from Zhang Wenyong's behavior, it seemed as if he owed him a few hundred yuan. But from Zhang Wenyong's tone, he should have come from the capital. Moreover, his family's power was not weak in the capital. It could even be ranked at the top. I did not dig up his ancestral grave. Is there a need to be so ruthless? Ningyu was also very clear that before he found out Zhang Wenyong's true identity, he had to be very careful. If you must feel that way, then just treat it as a threat. Chapter 32. Not only are you threatening me, but you also want me to be your slave. Hearing this, Ningyu's expression darkened as he said coldly, Today I will not give you any face. What can you do to me? From the aura that Zhang Wenyong emitted, Ningyu was certain that Zhang Wenyong was at the peak of the post-liminary realm. Zhang Wenyong was only 18 or 19 years old, but he was already at the peak of the post-liminary realm. Since he came from the capital, he was naturally very powerful. What can I do to you? Zhang Wenyong finally revealed his fangs and claws. Don't think that you are invincible just because you killed that trash Lin Feng. To tell you the truth, I can kill trash like Lin Feng with one hand. TSK, I didn't think that the famous young masterning of Tianxin City could not even enter the third floor of the drunken cloud pavilion. How sad. Zhang Wenyong curled his lips and said, Forget it. Since you do not have the ability to enter the third floor, I will not lower myself to your level. Otherwise, I will lose my identity. Waving his hand, Zhang Wenyong turned around and walked towards the second room. Ningyu did not expect Zhang Wenyong to suddenly make such a move and was stunned for a moment. He did not think that Zhang Wenyong would be so kind because, when Zhang Wenyong left, he secretly signaled to one of the guards. This action was very subtle, but it was still noticed by Ningyu's sharp senses. TSK, who is that? How dare he speak to Ningyu in such a manner? Didn't he say it just now? In the capital, anyone who does not give Zhang Wenyong face will not have a good ending. From this, it can be seen that he is from the capital. This time, Ningyu is in deep trouble. He offended a genius from the capital. Even if he has the support of Snow Domain Pavilion, it will be hard for him to get anything out of this, right? Zhang Wenyong is quite generous to not lower himself to Ningyu's level. Of course, Ningyu does not even have the qualifications to enter the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Pavilion. How can he be Zhang Wenyong's opponent? This move is indeed vicious. Ningyu knew very well that the moment he left Drunken Cloud Manor today, this fearful reputation would fall. In the future, no matter what he did, he might be looked down upon. Even if he were to go to the capital in the future, his actions would definitely be exposed, and it would be detrimental to his cultivation in Danwu College. Hence, he must go to this Drunken Cloud in's third level today. Moreover, he had to enter openly. On the fourth floor of the Drunken Cloud restaurant, a man sat upright. He picked up the tea on the table and took a sip. Not bad. This tea should be the Drunken Cloud tea. I didn't expect this old man to have so much face, to be able to receive such high treatment. Hee, Elder Guan must be joking. My father has warned me 1,000 times that if I neglect Elder Guan, my father will definitely kill me. Opposite to Senior Guan sat a woman who was about 20 years old. She had black hair and crescent, moon-like eyebrows. Her slender and bright face set off her natural beauty. I came in a hurry this time, so I only brought the Drunken Cloud tea. The next time Elder Guan visits Drunken Cloud Manor, my father will definitely bring out the Crouching Dragon drunk tea to entertain Elder Guan. Little girl, you are such a sweet talker. With a smile, Elder Guan asked, Why didn't your father personally come to the Elixir Dragon Valley this time? Recently, there has been some turmoil in the family. Father really can't leave, the young woman replied. It's not a bad thing that he didn't come. Based on my observations these few days, I discovered that the Elixir Dragon Valley is not the abode of an alchemist. At best, it's the abode of a 5th-grade alchemist, Elder Guan said after taking another sip of tea. Elder Guan, a 5th-grade alchemist, is naturally not attractive to an alchemist like you. But to us, it's already beyond our reach, the young woman said. Nodding, Elder Guan said, That's true. There's nothing wrong with the younger generation coming here to gain experience. Then, Elder Guan changed the topic and said, Recently I found a good seedling in Tianxin City. I believe he will also enter the Elixir Dragon Valley. When that time comes, I hope that you can help me keep an eye out for him. I don't want anything to happen to him. Oh, who is Elder Guan talking about? The young woman's eyebrows twitched. She was a little surprised. Since Elder Guan said he was a good seedling, his alchemy talent was certainly not bad. Even in Danwu College, only a few could enter Elder Guan's eyes. She didn't expect that in this small Tianqian city there would be an alchemy genius that Elder Guan had taken a fancy to. He seems to have run into some trouble. Right now, he is at the entrance of the 3rd floor. Elder Guan tapped the table with his finger and said lightly he should be stopped. Who dares to do this? How dare he stop the person that Elder Guan has taken a fancy to? The young woman's face turned cold. She was about to stand up. However, Elder Guan waved his hand and gestured for her to sit down. You don't need to go. That kid is now a Snow Pavilion's 3 stars elder. He is qualified to enter the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Snow Pavilion's 3 stars elder. This time, the young woman was no longer calm. Even her pretty face was filled with shock. She understood the identity of a Snow Pavilion's 3 stars elder. He was either a true martial realm or a 3rd-grade alchemist. Elder Guan was an alchemist, so the former was definitely impossible. Then, it could only be the latter, a 3rd-grade alchemist. In the end, who had such a high talent in alchemy, to be promoted to a 3rd-grade alchemist at such a young age? One had to know that even she had barely reached the level of a 2nd-grade alchemist. Little girl, I know what you are thinking. Elder Guan was a smart man. How could he not see through Xiao Yunlan's thoughts? Sometimes, Elder Guan really envied old man Xiao Yunlan because he had a 19-year-old daughter who had reached the level of a 2nd-grade alchemist. Every time they were together, Elder Guan would be ridiculed. Little girl, Ningyu is not a 3rd-grade alchemist, nor is he a true martial realm martial artist. In order not to hurt Xiao Yunlan, Elder Guan said, I told you he is a good seedling. With a little training, his achievements in alchemy will be limitless. I know. Elder Guan, you really scared me. Xiao Yunlan patted her plump chest, rolled her eyes, and said, But I am looking forward to seeing this Ningyu. What kind of divine being is he that Elder Guan thinks so highly of him? Shua. At the same time, at the entrance of the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn, Ningyu flicked his wrist, and the 3 stars token of the Snow Pavilion appeared in his hand. Can I go in now? Taking back the token, Ningyu said lightly, What did you just take out? Take it out and let us confirm. Because Ningyu's speed was extremely fast, even if the 4 guards were at the peak of the Hotian realm, they still couldn't see it clearly. One of the guards knew Zhang Wenyong's identity. At that time, the owner of the Drunken Cloud Inn had warned him not to offend him. Zhang Wenyong's order was his order. Therefore, the guard didn't dare to offend Zhang Wenyong. He could only use Ningyu as an example. Give us that token, we want to check it. Humph, who do you think you are? How dare you doubt the authenticity of the Snow Pavilion's token? With a cold snort, Ningyu's face became gloomy. Even if your owner is here, he wouldn't dare to talk to me like this. Chapter 33. He, who is so arrogant that even I don't dare to talk to you like that? When this light laughter rang out, the slightly noisy Drunken Cloud restaurant instantly quietened down. The middle-aged man's speed was not fast, but it was very rhythmic, approaching Ningyu step by step. Late-stage Xiantian. Feeling the aura of the middle-aged man, Ningyu's face turned serious. It's Pavilion Master Song. Didn't Pavilion Master Song leave this morning? Why did he come back now? I'm afraid he's here for Zhang Wenyong. More or less, Zhang Wenyong comes from the capital, so his family's power is definitely not weak. It's natural for Pavilion Master Song to come back personally. After a short silence, some warriors finally started discussing. But due to the deterrence of Pavilion Master Song, they did not dare to discuss loudly but whispered. You are Snow Pavilion's 3-star guest? Coming to Ningyu's side, Pavilion Master Song said lightly, Take out the token, let me check. Being able to become the Pavilion Master of Drunken Cloud Inn, Song Fei was not an ordinary person. Although he felt that Ning Yu was bragging, he still had to check to be sure. Early this morning, Song Fei left Tianqian City for some matters, so he did not know about Ning Yu's 3-star guest status. If he knew that Elder Mo had announced that Ning Yu was Snow Pavilion's 3-star guest, he would not have such an attitude. After all, no one wanted to offend a 3rd-grade pillmaster in Tianqian City. Since the pavilion master of Drunken Cloud Inn was here, Ning Yu reached into his robes, wanting to take out the token. Pavilion master, just now. At this moment, a guard hurried in front of Song Fei and whispered a few words. Gradually, Song Fei's face darkened, and in the end he even stared coldly at Ning Yu. With a wave of his sleeve, Song Fei said coldly, "You cannot enter the 3rd floor." Hearing this, Ning Yu also felt that there was no need to take out the token, so he asked in a deep voice, "Why? Is Snow Pavilion's 3-star guest not qualified to enter the 3rd floor? Snow Domain Pavilion's 3 stars consecrator is naturally qualified to enter the 3rd floor, but today's situation is a bit special, so the 3rd floor is already full." Song Fei said, "If you don't mind, you can go to the 2nd floor, the 1st room." Song Fei was not stupid. Compared to Ning Yu, Zhang Wenyong's status was much higher. Putting aside the authenticity of Ning Yu's identity as a 3-star elder of the Snow Pavilion, even if it was true, he was still worlds apart from Zhang Wenyong. Just the title of the 2nd son of the Zhang family in the capital was something that Ning Yu could not hope to achieve. Besides, Zhang Wenyong was also a strong contender for the position of the Zhang family head. If he succeeded, he would be an existence comparable to the Manor Lord. How could Song Fei dare to offend him? So, after weighing the pros and cons, Song Fei decided to help Zhang Wenyong. Of course, the Snow Domain Pavilion was also a colossus that could not be offended. Therefore, Song Fei settled for the next best thing. He wanted to arrange for Ning Yu to enter the 1st Earth Room. "What if I insist on entering the 3rd level today?" Ning Yu asked with a frown. "Humph, you don't know what's good for you." With a cold snort, Song Fei revealed his whole body's aura and crazily pressed down on Ning Yu. In Song Fei's opinion, giving Ning Yu the 1st Earth Room was already very generous. He did not expect him to be so ungrateful. "According to the rules, my status is enough to enter the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Tower." Resisting the pressure of Song Fei's Xiantian advanced stage aura, Ning Yu said, "Rules? Ha ha ha." As if he had heard the funniest joke in the world, Song Fei laughed wildly. Then he changed the topic and said, "In the Drunken Cloud Tower, my words are the rules. How about this? If you insist on entering the 3rd floor, it is not impossible. Take one move from me." Stretching out a finger, Song Fei smiled evilly and said, "As long as you can take one move from me, I will allow you to enter the 3rd floor, and I will also invite you to the 1st heaven room." Swoosh! Within the 2nd heaven room, Ji Feng waved his jade fan and said, "Zhang Wenyong, aren't you going a bit too far? If that little demon Xiao Yunlan finds out that you used Song Fei to suppress Ning Yu, the consequences will be very serious." The corners of Zhang Wenyong's mouth couldn't help but twitch when he heard Ji Feng mention the little demon, and then he said, "I did not do that kind of thing. It was all Song Fei's own decision. Speaking of which, I am really looking forward to it." Ning Yu was able to become a 3-star revered of Snow Pavilion, so he should have some trump cards. Today, he resisted a move from Lin Zhen head-on. Ji Feng said, "How can a patriarch of a small family compare to Song Fei?" Zhang Wenyong regained his composure and said, "Don't worry, I have a sense of propriety." A piece of high-grade origin crystal made Ning Yu lie in bed for a year. Even though it is a bit of a loss, it is worth it for Lu Wei. The 1st heaven room. Song Fei has some guts. He actually wants to invite someone to the 1st heaven room. A thin man in his mid-20s said coldly, "It's okay. That young man's cultivation is only at the middle stage of the Ho Tian realm. It will be a bit difficult for him to resist a move from Song Fei. A young man in light blue clothes waved his hand and said lightly, "Even if I use my full strength, I can't say that I can resist a move from Song Fei." "Young master, is Song Fei really that strong?" The thin man was a little surprised. The thin man knew the young master's strength very well. If the young master did not have the confidence to resist a move from Song Fei, then that Ning Yu would definitely not have an advantage. Song Fei's cultivation is at the late stage of the Xiantian realm. Moreover, he has practiced the Thunder Fist to initial success. His strength is enough to compete with a warrior at the peak of the Xiantian realm. The young man said, "I guess that Song Fei will not use his full strength. Once he uses his full strength, Ning Yu will definitely be killed. Song Fei doesn't have the guts to kill a 3-star revered of Snow Pavilion." Wow. Song Fei's words directly caused an uproar in the Drunken Cloud Inn. Does Ning Yu dare to take a move from Song Fei? It's hard to say. After all, Ning Yu took a move from Lin Zhen today. In my opinion, he should agree. How can Lin Zhen compare with Song Fei? One is at the middle stage of the Xiantian realm, and one is at the late stage of the Xiantian realm. Even 3 Lin Zhens are not a match for Song Fei. Even if that's the case, Song Fei's words are too much. Ning, you will definitely not tolerate it. Even if you can't tolerate it, you have to. If you can't bear it, then it's very likely that you will suffer a setback today. Many warriors were very clear that Lin Zhen and Song Fei were not on the same level. Being able to take a move from Lin Zhen might not necessarily be able to take a move from Song Fei. The gap between the middle stage and the late stage of the Xiantian realm was very big. Ningyu was silent. He did not agree immediately. He was weighing the pros and cons, seeing that Ningyu was silent. Song Fei thought that he did not dare to agree. He remembered that Zhang Wenyong had promised him high-grade yuan crystals. He quickly said, "How about this? I will only use 30% of my strength to deal with you." Chapter 34. 10 mid-grade yuan crystals. Am I seeing this correctly? That's 10 mid-grade yuan crystals. Song Fei is really willing to spend so much just to exchange blows with Ningyu. Is he not afraid of failing miserably at such a simple task? This is a sure-win situation. Ning, you will not be able to receive even one move from Song Fei. Even if it's only 30% of his strength, it's still impossible. 10 mid-grade yuan crystals. Looking at the yuan crystals in Song Fei's hand, Ning Yu's eyes narrowed as he said in a low voice, "I agree." If it was only to enter the 3rd level of the Drunken Cloud Inn, Ning Yu would not have agreed so readily. After all, Song Fei was a late-stage Xiantian expert. His strength was not something that Lin Zhen could compare with. Right now, Ningyu was in urgent need of yuan crystals. 10 mid-grade yuan crystals were extremely attractive to him. With these 10 mid-grade yuan crystals, he could reach the late-stage Xiantian realm before the icy cave test. Ha ha ha, straightforward indeed. I'll leave these 10 mid-grade yuan crystals here. As long as you can receive one move from me without collapsing, they're yours. With a loud laugh, Song Fei placed the 10 mid-grade yuan crystals on the ground and gestured towards Ningyu. Ningyu knew that this was not the place to exchange blows. Hence, he walked towards the 1st level. The 1st level of the Drunken Cloud Inn had an incomparably wide lobby. It's not too late to back out now, Song Fei said as he pulled away from Ningyu. "Make your move." Taking a deep breath, Ningyu secretly adjusted his condition to its peak. "Good, I admire your courage." Giving a thumbs up, Song Fei's hands moved rhythmically. Around his hands, some yuan energy gathered. Rushing Thunder Fist. Seeing the changes in Song Fei's hands, a sharp-eyed warrior exclaimed, "It's actually the Rushing Thunder Fist. This time Ningyu is in danger." Rushing Thunder Fist? Song Fei's famous technique. a low-grade, profound, ranked martial skill. Song Fei has already trained the Thunderbolt Fist to the realm of initial success. Even if it's only 30% of his strength, with Ning Yu's cultivation, it's impossible for him to block it. What? Didn't Song Fei say that he would only use 30% of his strength? How did he use the Thunderbolt Fist? Is it the rushing Thunder Fist? The surrounding exclamations didn't cause Ning Yu to panic in the slightest. He quickly formed hand seals with his palms, and Yuan Qi quickly gathered around his palms. Seeing Ning Yu's actions, Song Fei raised his eyebrows in surprise, because he discovered that the speed at which Ning Yu condensed essence qi was not the slightest bit inferior to his. It had to be known that his cultivation was at the late Xiantian realm. How could the speed at which he gathered origin energy be inferior to a Hotian realm martial artist? It must be a mental cultivation method to condense origin qi. It should be a high-grade, profound, rank mental cultivation method, or even higher. At this moment, Song Fei seriously examined Ning Yu. Ning Yu was indeed worthy of being a 3-star exalted of Snow Domain Pavilion. He had cultivated a high-grade, profound, rank mental cultivation method, the Hotian realm. If your cultivation had reached the Xiantian realm, then perhaps 30% of my strength wouldn't be able to harm you. But now, 30% of my strength is more than enough to defeat you. In the next moment, Song Fei rose from the ground, clenched his right hand into a fist, and fiercely punched at Ning Yu's chest. Buzz! Song Fei's speed was extremely fast. The howling wind from his fist forced the surrounding air to scatter. Netherworld Samsara Palm, First Palm, absolute dust. Facing the rapidly approaching Song Fei, Ning Yu did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. He quickly gathered the essence, gathering hand's essence, into his wrist. Then he rapidly revolved the spirit art within his body, mobilizing all the essence, gathering hand's essence, into his right palm. Shwa! After the essence, gathering on his palm, reached a certain degree, Ning Yu pushed out his palm. The violent essence, gathering hand, brought with it a howling wind. An illusory palm print was faintly discernible. Middle Hotian realm. Ning Yu's cultivation has reached the Middle Hotian realm. This morning he was at the early Hotian realm. Only a few hours have passed, and he has actually reached the Middle Hotian realm. This is too incredible. Perhaps Ning Yu's cultivation was at the peak of the early Hotian realm this morning, and he just happened to break through to the Middle Hotian realm today. Although Song Fei and Zhang Wenyong knew that Ning Yu's cultivation had reached the Middle Hotian realm, the people in Drunken Cloud Brothel did not know. They did not have the eyesight of Song Fei and Zhang Wenyong. Therefore, now that they felt the fluctuations of Ning Yu's aura, they were somewhat shocked. Young master, is this Ning Yu really only at the Middle Hotian realm? The two men in the number 1 private room looked at the scene in the lobby through the window. The thin man said with some shock, even an ordinary late Hotian realm martial artist would not be able to make such a palm strike, right? He is indeed at the Middle Hotian realm. The young man who was called Young Master nodded and said, to be able to become a 3 stars consecrator of the Snow Pavilion, he naturally has some skills. But to block Song Fei's fist, it will be a little difficult. That's right. If he can block Song Fei's fist, doesn't it mean that his talent and strength are similar to young master's? The thin man said. Zhang Wenyong stood at the entrance of the 3rd floor, looking at Ning Yu with great interest, as if he was facing a formidable enemy. Ji Feng, according to you, how long do you think Ning Yu will be bedridden this time? 1 year? 2 years? Zhang Wenyong said with a smile. Zhang Wenyong, Ning Yu's palm strike is very powerful. Maybe he can block Song Fei's fist with 30% of his strength. Ji Feng was not as optimistic as Zhang Wenyong. Haha, Brother Ji worries too much. Zhang Wenyong smiled mysteriously and said, Do you think Song Fei will only use 30% of his strength? Could it be that Song Fei will use his full strength? Ji Feng looked at Song Fei with a thought. 50% of his strength. Ji Feng was shocked by what he saw. He realized that Song Fei had secretly increased the strength of his fist to 50%. Fighting Ningyu with 50% of his strength, there was no need to say who would be the final winner. Sha sha! Song Fei's fist appeared in front of Ningyu in an instant, aiming for his chest. As the fist gradually approached Ningyu, Song Fei seemed to see a high-grade yuan crystal waving at him. The corner of his mouth curled up unnaturally. Bang! However, just as Song Fei's fist was about to come into contact with Ningyu's chest, an illusory palm print suddenly appeared in front of his fist. A muffled sound rang out. His fist and the illusory palm print collided head-on. Song Fei's expression changed because he realized that the strength of the illusory palm print was about the same as 50% of his strength. Damn it! Song Fei cursed in his heart. His face gradually darkened. For safety's sake, he broke the agreement and used 50% of his strength so that he could defeat Ningyu in one move. Who would have thought that his thunderbolt fist, which was 50% of his strength, could not even touch Ningyu's chest? If news of this were to spread, how could he establish himself in Tianqian City? Thinking of this, Song Fei gritted his teeth and unconsciously increased the strength of his fist. 60%. Chapter 35. What? They are evenly matched. This is impossible. How could Ningyu block Song Fei's Rolling Thunder Fist? The Rolling Thunder Fist is a lower profound level martial skill. Yes, Song Fei has already achieved initial success in the Rolling Thunder Fist. It is impossible for Ningyu to block it. Don't forget, Song Fei only used 30% of his strength. Plus, Ningyu has advanced to the middle stage of the Houtian stage. It is not impossible for him to block one move. At this time, Ningyu's face was solemn. He even had the urge to curse. After fighting with Song Fei, no one knew better than him how much strength Song Fei had used. Although he did not use his full strength, Ningyu was sure that Song Fei had used more than 30% of his strength. Old fox, you don't keep your word. Cursing, Ningyu clenched his teeth. He crazily gathered yuan qi and injected it into the illusory palm. 60% of my strength is not enough to repel you. If so, Song Fei's eyes were cold. He stamped his right foot on the ground, shattering the jade stone floor. I will use my full strength. In the next instant, primordial qi surged out of Song Fei's body and gathered on his fist. I did not expect Ningyu to be so strong. He actually forced Song Fei to use his full strength. In the Sky No. 1 private room, the young man's expression finally changed. He stood up with a swoosh. The rushing thunder fist at the initial realm is extremely powerful. Young master, no matter what, Ningyu is a 3-star guest of Snow Pavilion. We have a good relationship with Snow Pavilion. Do you want to? The thin man beside the young man said, No need. However, before the gaunt man could finish a sentence, he was interrupted by the young man. Song Fei won't kill him. At most, he'll be bedridden for a few months. There's no need for us to be peacemakers. At the entrance of the 3rd floor, Ji Feng's face was solemn. He could not help but say, Zhang Wenyong, Song Fei used his full strength. Will something happen? The corners of Zhang Wenyong's mouth curled up. What happened? Song Fei knows what he's doing. He won't kill Ningyu. After thinking about it, Ji Feng still felt that something was wrong. He said, Right now, Song Fei is in a fit of anger. I'm afraid he won't know when to stop. Ji Feng, he's just a 3-star consecrator of the Snow Pavilion. Is it really necessary to kill him? Shrugging, Zhang Wenyong said, If it wasn't for Lu Wei, I would have killed him myself. Pa, Inside the Supreme Pavilion, Elder Guan's face darkened. He slammed the table and shattered the jade cup. Elder Guan, what made you so angry? Xiao Yunlan was shocked. He had never seen Elder Guan so angry before. He asked carefully, How dare you? How dare you attack Ningyu with your full strength? Old Guan stood up with a swoosh, and an angry expression appeared on his face. Actually, when Song Fei appeared, Elder Guan's sharp soul power had already sensed him. However, he did not stop the fight between Ningyu and Song Fei. In Elder Guan's opinion, even though Song Fei had achieved initial success in the Rolling Thunder Fists, it was still impossible to defeat Ningyu with only 30% of his strength. Elder Guan had seen how powerful Ningyu was, not to mention 30%. Even if Song Fei used 50% of his strength, he might not be able to defeat Ningyu. Therefore, Elder Guan was not worried. He no longer used his soul power to observe the situation in the lobby. However, just now, when he accidentally released his soul power, he realized that Song Fei had used his full strength. Elder Guan. Seeing Elder Guan stand up, Xiao Yunlan hurriedly said, Let me handle this. No need. I will go there myself. Waving his hand, Elder Guan walked toward the door. Boom! However, before Elder Guan and Xiao Yunlan could leave the Supreme Pavilion, an earth-shattering explosion came from the lobby. On the first floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn, Ningyu's body fell backward and hit the wall hard. Uft! The hidden force that came from his chest made Ningyu's expression change. He spat out a mouthful of blood. On the other hand, Song Fei took a few steps back, but he was fine. Sigh, he lost. I knew it. How could Ningyu block one attack from Song Fei? That's right. This time Ningyu lost. I think he won't be so arrogant in the future. Ningyu isn't bad either. Song Fei also took a few steps back. Sigh, Ningyu, is there a need for you to do this? Earlier, I only used 10% of my strength. If I had used 30% of my strength, you would have been killed long ago. Song Fei sighed softly. Song Fei didn't use 30% of his strength. He only used 10% of his strength. No wonder he took a few steps back. So that's why. I thought Ningyu was so strong. It seems like the gap between him and Song Fei is like heaven and earth. In the past, Ningyu had seen shameless people. However, he had never seen someone as shameless as Song Fei. He used his full strength, but he said it in such a dignified manner. He didn't even blush when he lied. Ignoring Song Fei, Ningyu suppressed the hidden force in his body and walked to the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Looking at Ningyu's actions, the crowd was dumbfounded. It can't be. Ningyu still wants to go to the third floor. Does he think he hasn't embarrassed himself enough? It's nothing to lose to Song Fei. If he doesn't know how to endure, his achievements in the future will be limited. Ignoring the ridicule from the crowd, Ningyu dragged his heavy steps to the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Song Fei didn't stop Ningyu's actions. Instead, he frowned, not knowing what Ningyu wanted to do. But very quickly, Song Fei's face changed. Ningyu came to the entrance of the third floor. He bent down and picked up the 10 middle-grade crystals on the ground. Following that, Ningyu grinned at Song Fei and said, Thank you, Pavilion Master Song. It would be impolite for me to refuse these 10 middle-grade crystals. Ningyu, you don't know what's good for you. Song Fei clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. Pavilion Master Song, didn't you say it before? As long as I'm able to withstand a single move from you, these 10 mid-grade origin crystals are mine. Could it be that you're going to go back on your word? Ningyu was still calm and collected, and he wasn't angered at all. You. Song Fei pointed at Ningyu and said angrily, I only used 10% of my strength earlier, not 30%. Since you don't know what's good for you, how about we compete again? Pavilion Master Song, there are so many people watching here. It's not like I asked you to use 10% of your strength. Are you going to go back on your words now? Ningyu's face turned cold. and he finally showed some anger. He said coldly, "I don't need you to invite me to the first room. But don't tell me you don't intend to give me 10 mid-grade origin crystals?" "I've said it before, I only used 10% of my strength just now. If you want the mid-grade essence crystals, then take another move from me." That was 10 pieces of mid-grade essence crystals. It was naturally impossible for Song Fei to hand them over to Ningyu. Chapter 36. Pavilion Master Song, aren't you going a little overboard? However, not long after Pavilion Master Song finished his words, 2 young men walked out from the Sky No. 1 booth. One of the young men said indifferently, "If I'm not wrong, you didn't use 10% of your strength just now, but your full strength, 100% of your strength." Swoosh! The young man's words caused the entire drunken cloud to boil. Everyone turned to look at Song Fei, wanting to see his attitude. "Young Master Wu, you were in the booth just now, so you might not know what happened outside." With a gloomy expression, Song Fei said, "I did use 10% of my strength against Ningyu, not 100%. "Oh, is that so?" Young Master Wu rolled his eyes and said, "How about this? I'll give you a chance. Use another 10% of your strength, and if you can defeat Ningyu, then I'll get back the 10 middle grade origin crystals from Ningyu for you." "Are you serious?" Song Fei's eyes lit up. "Absolutely," young Master Wu said indifferently. "Young Master Wu, right?" Looking at the young man, Ningyu's expression was somewhat displeased. "What right do you have to ask me for 10 middle grade origin crystals?" "How dare you?" The skinny man beside young Master Wu said coldly. Waving his hand, young Master Wu said, "I was rude just now. What I meant was, as long as Song Fei can defeat you, I'll give you 10 middle grade origin crystals." "Not interested." Keeping the 10 middle grade origin crystals, Ningyu slowly walked towards the first floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Wait. However, just as Ningyu took a few steps, Zhang Wenyong scolded, "Ningyu, as long as you can withstand another 10% of Song Fei's strength, I'm willing to give you another 10 middle grade origin crystals." Ningyu stopped in his tracks after hearing Zhang Wenyong's words. "How is it, Ningyu? That's 10 yuan crystals, enough for you to train for a year." Seeing Ningyu stop walking, Zhang Wenyong said with some satisfaction, 10 mid-grade origin crystals. "Zhang Wenyong, are you trying to dismiss a beggar?" Turning around, Ningyu looked at Zhang Wenyong and said, "If you can block one move from Song Fei, I'll give you 10 mid-grade origin crystals. How about it?" After saying that, Ningyu walked downstairs. Damn it! Cursing inwardly, Zhang Wenyong was extremely furious. 20 mid-grade origin crystals! Ningyu continued downstairs as if he hadn't heard anything. 50 mid-grade origin crystals! Zhang Wenyong gnashed his teeth and said, "Ning, you did not stop. 1 high-grade essence crystal." Zhang Wen's courage was not light. Today, even if he had to use crystals, he wanted to let Ningyu and Song Fei exchange blows again. However, Ningyu continued forward. 10 upper-grade origin crystals. Zhang Wenyong roared, and the aura of his whole body was revealed, crazily suppressing Ningyu. Peak of the post-liminary realm. No wonder he's from the capital. His age is about the same as Ningyu's, right? He's actually at the peak of the post-liminary realm. Originally, I thought that Ningyu was an absolute genius. Now, compared to Zhang Wenyong, it's like heaven and earth. At this moment, Ningyu finally stopped in his tracks. He turned around and looked at Zhang Wenyong, completely unafraid of the aura of the peak of the post-liminary realm. Stretching out a finger, Ningyu said, 100 high-grade origin crystals. As long as you can take out 100 high-grade origin crystals, I'm willing to exchange blows with Song Fei again. Fine, 100 it is. I only hope that you'll be alive to take it. Zhang Wenyong sneered and waved his sleeve. Instantly, a small storage pouch appeared in his hand and said, "There are 100 high-grade origin crystals in here. As long as you can block one blow from Song Fei, they are all yours." Ningyu is overestimating himself. He wants to block one blow from Song Fei? Impossible. Definitely impossible. If I'm not wrong, Ningyu is already injured. No matter what happens today, Ningyu is doomed. He has completely offended Zhang Wenyong. "Elder Guan, do you think I should?" Xiao Yunlan said at the entrance of the Supreme Pavilion. "No need. Let's wait and see. Song Fei's one attack with 10% of his strength. Ning Yu should be able to block it." Waving his hand, Elder Guan signaled Xiao Yunlan not to make a move. Originally, Elder Guan came out in anger. But when he arrived at the entrance, he realized that Song Fei's attack with all his strength did not harm Ningyu. Thus he relaxed. 100% of his strength was not enough to defeat Ningyu. It was not hard to imagine that one attack with 10% of his strength would not be able to harm Ningyu. Plus, Elder Guan knew that Ningyu still had a trump card that he had yet to use. Soul suppression. Once Ningyu uses soul suppression, Song Fei will not have a good time. Take out 100 high-grade origin crystals. I want to confirm. Taking a deep breath, Ningyu said, "For 100 high-grade origin crystals." Ningyu was willing to take the risk. With 100 high-grade origin crystals, he could buy a lot of medicinal ingredients and concoct medicinal pellets to help him increase his cultivation. Walala! Zhang Wenyong poured out the storage pouch. Immediately, with a clattering sound, 100 high-grade origin crystals appeared on the third floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Wow! 100 high-grade origin crystals! If I had one, I would have a high chance of breaking through to the advanced stage of the postnatal realm within a year. In your dreams, how many demonic beasts do you have to kill to exchange for one high-grade origin crystal? Zhang Wenyong is so daring. He is not afraid of being robbed. Robbed? Who dares to offend Zhang Wenyong? At least in the big Tianqian city, no one dares to offend him. How can I believe you? If I can block one attack from Song Fei, are you really willing to give me these high-grade origin crystals? Frowning, this was what Ningyu was worried about. After all, Zhang Wenyong came from a big family in the capital, and he was alone. In his current state, even if Zhang Wenyong did not give him the origin crystals, he could not do anything. "Ningyu, you don't have to worry about this." Just then, young Master Wu spoke. "I will keep these 100 high-grade origin crystals for now. As long as you can block one attack from Pavilion Leader Song, I guarantee on my honor that they will be yours." Ningyu, quickly thank my young master. Beside young Master Wu, the thin man said, "My young master has a good relationship with Snow Pavilion. Since he said he would help you, he will definitely help you." "Wu Yong, are you really going to interfere?" Zhang Wenyong said coldly. "Zhang Wenyong, why do you have to do this? There must be a fair person in a battle." Wu Yong smiled. "Fine, I want to see what ability Ningyu has to take away these high-grade origin crystals." Zhang Wenyong clenched his fist and said in a deep voice, "Since young Master Wu is willing to help, Ningyu will thank you in advance." Cupping his hands at Wu Yong, Ningyu turned to Song Fei and said, "One attack with 10% of my strength. What do you think, Pavilion Leader Song?" "Humph, you are looking for your own death. Don't blame me." With a cold snort, Song Fei made a please gesture and said, "I held back just now, but I will not hold back now." Song Fei noticed that Ningyu's chest was heaving up and down, and his breathing was a little chaotic. He concluded that Ningyu was seriously injured. Chapter 37. You don't need to hold back at all. You can't do anything to me with just 10% of your strength. Ningyu appeared in front of Song Fei and said calmly, "Arrogant." With a furious roar, Song Fei dashed out and dashed toward Ningyu at a shocking speed. Flowing cloud steps. It's the flowing cloud steps. A sharp-eyed warrior exclaimed. Flowing cloud steps? Could it be a middle-grade, mystic level movement skill? That's right. It's a middle-grade, mystic level movement skill. The warrior who spoke earlier said, Song Fei's speed is much faster than Ningyu. Now that he's using the flowing cloud steps, Ningyu won't be able to catch up. Wu Yong, how confident do you think Ningyu will be able to block Song Fei's attack? Zhang Wenyong asked with a smile. Not bad, not bad. Looks like Song Fei doesn't want to lose. He's even using a middle-grade, mystic level movement skill. Wu Yong nodded and said, Although he's using the flowing cloud steps, I think Ningyu has a 50% chance of blocking Song Fei's attack. Oh, you're so optimistic about Ningyu. Raising his eyebrows, Zhang Wenyong said, His speed is inferior to Song Fei's, and Ningyu doesn't even know when Song Fei will make his move. In a situation where he is completely unprepared, putting aside the fact that Song Fei only used 10% of his strength, even if Song Fei used half of his strength, Ningyu would still be unable to withstand it. Wu Yong frowned slightly when he heard Zhang Wenyong's words. No wonder Zhang Wenyong dared to bet 100 high-grade yuan crystals. It turned out that he had a card up his sleeve. In the lobby, Ningyu slowly closed his eyes and secretly used his soul strength. He knew that he was no match for Song Fei in terms of speed, and he couldn't block Song Fei's attack, because he didn't know when Song Fei would attack. But he had a way, and that was soul strength. Since his soul power had recovered to the 3rd grade, Ningyu was able to determine when Song Fei would make his move. Look, Ningyu was dumbfounded. He actually closed his eyes. He's like a dead pig that's not afraid of boiling water. Song Fei's speed is very fast. Ningyu knows that he can't stop him this time, so he closed his eyes and admitted defeat. Ningyu, do you think that I won't attack you if you close your eyes? You're too naive. The corners of Song Fei's mouth curled up, and he instantly appeared behind Ningyu. He punched out, bringing with him waves of killing intent, aiming for Ningyu's shoulder. Song Fei wasn't that stupid. If he said he would use 10% of his strength, he would use 10% of his strength. He secretly increased his strength and displayed 20% of his strength. Song Fei could not help but laugh as if he had seen Ningyu's miserable state when he was chopped down. Young master, Song Fei. The thin man beside Wu Yong said, I'm fine. Wu Yong could naturally see that Song Fei did not use 10% of his strength. However, now wasn't the time to offend Zhang Wenyong. 20% of his strength, so be it. It made no difference anyway. In his opinion, Ningyu's defeat was inevitable. Swoosh! However, in the hall, just as Song Fei's fist was about to hit Ningyu's shoulder, Ningyu turned around with a swoosh. What? Song Fei did not expect Ningyu to react so quickly. He was momentarily stunned. It's not good to be distracted now. With a faint smile, Ningyu threw out a punch first, and it collided with Song Fei's fist. Damn it! Song Fei cursed under his breath. He immediately reacted and wanted to increase his strength, but he realized that Ningyu's palm and his fist separated immediately. At the same time, Ningyu's body retreated. Ningyu's action made Song Fei dumbfounded, and he stood rooted to the ground. What was going on? Before he exerted his strength, Ningyu actually retreated? However, what Ningyu said next made him want to vomit blood. Pavilion Master Song, 10% of your strength is still too weak. It can't do anything to me, Ningyu said calmly as he steadied himself. What? Did Song Fei use his full strength just now? How could Ningyu block his move so easily? More or less, looking at Ningyu's appearance, he still has some strength left. Look, it's Zhang Wenyong. In an instant, everyone's gaze turned to the 3rd floor of the Drunken Cloud Inn. Zhang Wenyong's face was ashen, and he clenched his fists tightly. He stared at Song Fei with an urge to kill. If he did not know that Song Fei had used 10% of his strength, he would have suspected that Song Fei and Ning Yu were putting on an act to cheat him of his 100 pieces of origin crystals. Zhang Wenyong, many thanks. Arriving at the third floor, Ning Yu was about to put away the 100 pieces of origin crystals. However, Zhang Wenyong said coldly, "Wait, you can't take these origin crystals away." Hearing Zhang Wenyong's words, Ning Yu's face darkened. Although he blocked Song Fei's move by trickery, Ning Yu's strength had decreased by half right now. It was basically impossible for him to be Zhang Wenyong's match. Furthermore, there was Ji Feng, who was equally powerful by the side. Zhang Wenyong, there are wins and losses in a bet. You can't be a sore loser, right? Since he said he would help Ning Yu, Wu Yong naturally would not sit idly by. Humph! Wu Yong, you said I can't afford to lose. With a cold snort, Zhang Wenyong said furiously, "Forget about 100 pieces of origin crystals. Even if it's 1,000, I, Zhang Wenyong, won't even blink an eye. These 100 pieces of high-grade essence crystals. Just take it as me giving him alms." With that, Zhang Wenyong turned around and walked towards the Sky Room 2. "Zhang Wenyong, wait for me." Ji Feng and Lu Shan followed closely behind him and entered the Sky Room 2. After Zhang Wenyong left, Wu Yong took out a small storage bag. With a wave of his hand, the 100 pieces of origin crystals were all put into the storage bag. "Many thanks. I'll return the storage bag to you when I get home." Receiving the storage bag, Ning Yu said, "Ha ha ha, it's just a storage bag. What's the harm in giving it to Brother Ning?" Laughing loudly, Wu Yong said, "If Brother Ning has nothing else, would you like to have a chat in the room?" Since Brother Wu invited me, how could I dare to decline? Ning Yu said. After all, Wu Yong had helped him. He remembered this favor and would definitely return it in the future if there was a chance. Moreover, after probing the storage bag with his soul force, he found that there was a cubic meter of space inside. A storage bag with a cubic meter of space had a market price of around 10 pieces of origin crystals. For Wu Yong to give it to him so generously, it could be seen that this person was not simple. All right, let's go. Being able to meet Brother Ning today, this trip was not in vain. Wu Yong turned around and made an inviting gesture. Damn it! Seeing Ning Yu and Wu Yong walking towards the Sky Room 1, Song Fei's face was extremely gloomy and livid. How did he know that I would attack from behind? Until now, Song Fei still did not understand how Ning Yu could determine the direction of his attack. Could it be a fluke? After thinking about it, Song Fei felt that it was too unrealistic. If it was a fluke, then Ning Yu's luck was too good. Chapter 38. Damn it! Damn it! Song Fei made me lose 100 high-grade essence crystals for nothing. In the second Sky Room, Zhang Wenyong's face was ashen as he said angrily, "This is unforgivable!" "Zhang Wenyong, you can't blame Song Fei for this." Ji Feng waved his jade fan and said, "Ning Yu is indeed strong. If I were to fight him, I would not be able to win without using 80% of my strength." "Oh," Zhang Wenyong raised his eyebrows and said, "You also think that trash Ning Yu is strong?" "Hee, I have to say that in terms of strength, he is qualified to be on equal footing with us." Ji Feng laughed. "Humph, be on equal footing with us? He doesn't deserve it." Zhang Wenyong snorted and said, "You and I both have our trump cards. Once we use them, even 10 Ning Yu won't be enough to kill us." Zhang Wenyong and Ji Feng came from big families in the capital. This time, they brought a lot of magical items and pills with them to the Elixir Dragon Valley. Other than magical items and pills, each of them had a way to protect themselves. Even if they encountered a peak Xiantian realm martial artist, they would be able to defend themselves. "Lu Shan, you are from Tianqian City. Introduce Ning Yu to me," Zhang Wenyong said. "Young master, 3 days ago, Ningyu's cultivation was only 5th layer body tempering realm. But 3 days later, his cultivation rose like a rocket, advancing to early stage Hotian realm. No, it should be mid-stage Hotian realm. Lu Shan said hurriedly. 3 days to advance from 5th layer body tempering realm to mid-stage Hotian realm. Lu Shan, you will be punished for lying. Ji Feng was shocked. If what Lu Shan said was true, then Ningyu was really a genius. Even in the capital, other than the number 1 genius, Xia Linxian, no one could advance so quickly. Lu Shan, is what you said true? Zhang Wenyong said coldly, his aura pressing down on Lu Shan. With a plop, Lu Shan knelt on the ground and said, Young master, what I've said is the truth. 3 days ago, Ningyu's cultivation was indeed at the 5th layer of body tempering realm. Furthermore, he even set up a death match with the young master of the Lin clan, Lin Feng. Zhang Wenyong, I think there's something fishy about this. Frowning slightly, Ji Feng said, 3 days ago, Ningyu must have concealed his cultivation. It's impossible for him to be at the 5th layer of the body tempering realm. It's extremely likely that he's at the early stage of the Hotian realm. Zhang Wenyong nodded and said, That's true. Ning, you wouldn't have dared to challenge Lin Feng to a life-and-death duel if he hadn't been at the early stage of the Hotian realm. After all, Lin Feng was at the middle stage of the Hotian realm at that time. At the side, Lu Shan secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Rolling his eyes, Lu Shan said, Young master, in profound Sky City, Ningyu's strongest point is not his cultivation, but his attainments in alchemy. Seeing that Zhang Wenyong did not speak, Lu Shan continued. 3 days ago, Ningyu successfully refined a first-grade qi gathering pill. It's just a first-grade qi gathering pill. It's nothing much. Zhang Wenyong waved his hand and said, Young master, I inspected the pill that he refined at that time. It's a supreme grade pill. Lu Shan continued. What? This time, Zhang Wenyong was not as calm. He stood up in a flash and said, Are you sure it's a supreme grade qi gathering pill? Actually, it was no wonder that Zhang Wenyong was shocked. Even though the qi gathering pill was a first-grade qi gathering pill, to be able to refine a supreme grade qi gathering pill, it was enough to show that one's attainments in alchemy were profound. Zhang Wenyong himself was a second-grade intermediate alchemist. With his current ability, he would need to refine 10 batches of qi gathering pills before he could refine a supreme grade qi gathering pill. What level of alchemist is Ningyu at now? Zhang Wenyong asked in a low voice. He should still be a first-grade alchemist. Lu Shan said, Not bad, not bad. At such a young age, not only can he fight against Song Fei, who is in the advanced phase of the Xiantian stage, his attainments in alchemy are also profound. The corners of Zhang Wenyong's mouth curled up slightly. Zhang Wenyong, don't tell me you want to spar with him? Ji Feng knew Zhang Wenyong's personality. He would never allow someone of the same generation to surpass him in both alchemy and martial arts. In the capital, among the younger generation who had yet to enter Danwu College, the only one who surpassed Zhang Wenyong in alchemy was Xiao Yunlan of the Drunken Cloud Villa, and there were not many who surpassed him in terms of martial arts. Hee, of course I want to spar with him. Zhang Wenyong smiled and said, Ningyu is indeed not simple. To be able to see through Lu Shan's hidden illness, he might just be able to be my opponent. At the same time, in the first sky booth, Brother Ning, I did not expect you to be so powerful. I am impressed. Wu Yong said. Brother Wu, you must be joking. If I am not wrong, your cultivation should have broken through the limits of the Hotian stage. Ningyu glanced at Wu Yong and said casually. Hearing this, Wu Yong was extremely shocked. 3 days ago, he had just taken an innate elixir to break through to the early stage of the innate realm. Moreover, he had hidden it with the help of the powerhouses in his family. According to the powerhouses in his family, unless one's cultivation had reached the true martial realm. No one would be able to see through his real cultivation. How did Ning Yu find out? Although he was shocked, Wu Yong did not show it. Instead, he said, "Brother Ning, I will not beat around the bush. This time, I only have one purpose in coming to Tianxian City, and that is to enter the Pill Dragon Valley. The movement in the Pill Dragon Valley this time should attract many powerhouses." Ning Yu knew a little about the Pill Dragon Valley, but he did not know much. He, Brother Ning, according to the secret information, the Pill Dragon Valley is the abode of a 5th-grade alchemist. Wu Yong laughed. Wu Yong continued, "The Pill Dragon Valley is divided into the Inner Valley and the Outer Valley. There are no restrictions on entering the Outer Valley. As for the Inner Valley, only martial artists below the age of 22 are allowed to enter. Of course, it is not easy to enter the Inner Valley through the Outer Valley." Wu Yong said solemnly, "So, I want to form an alliance with Brother Ning. With our strength, we can definitely enter the Pill Dragon Valley's Inner Valley together. Wu Yong, are you looking for an ally now? Why don't you consider me?" At this moment, a voice sounded from the door of the Sky Series 1 booth. Zhang Wenyong pushed the door open and walked in. Behind him, Ji Feng and Lu Shan followed closely. "Wu Yong, in my opinion, the two of us should form an alliance. It will be enough to sweep the Pill Dragon Valley and the Outer Valley," Zhang Wenyong said proudly. Then, Zhang Wenyong looked at Ning Yu and said, "As for him, he will only be a burden. There is no need to bring him along." "Brother Wu, what's wrong today? Why are there so many flies?" Ning Yu looked around and asked. "Damn it," Zhang Wenyong said coldly. "How dare you call me a fly?" Ning Yu shrugged and did not comment. "Zhang Wenyong, you are not welcome here. Please leave." Wu Yong knew that Ning Yu was injured and was a guest he had invited. Naturally, he would not allow a conflict to break out between him and Zhang Wenyong. "Wu Yong, I am not here to look for you. I am here to look for Ning Yu." Pointing at Ning Yu, Zhang Wenyong said, "I heard that Lu Shan has an unmentionable illness. You also noticed it?" Chapter 39. Zhang Wenyong, I don't think I have anything to do with Lu Shan. Ning Yu said lightly, "Besides, I already told Lu Shan to come find me in 3 days. He, Ning Yu, aren't you afraid of biting your tongue?" Zhang Wenyong laughed. "Can you really cure Lu Shan's hidden illness? Are you kidding me? A mere 1st-grade alchemist wants to get rid of the soul-devouring pill's residual power? Dream on." "So, the soul-devouring pill's residual power in Lu Shan's body was expelled by you?" Ning Yu said. "Of course." Zhang Wenyong raised his head proudly. "If I didn't discover it in time, Lu Shan would have died long ago. How could he live until now?" "Thank you, young master." Lu Shan hurriedly thanked. Waving his hand, Zhang Wenyong said to Ning Yu, "Let's put Lu Shan's matter aside for now. I heard that you are very accomplished in alchemy. Why don't we have a competition?" "Zhang Wenyong, are you sure you want to compete with me?" Ning Yu asked. In fact, Ning Yu had long discovered that Zhang Wenyong's soul force was very strong, reaching the 2nd grade. If he guessed correctly, Zhang Wenyong should be a 2nd-grade alchemist. Even Zhang Wenyong's rank was slightly higher than Snow Pavilion's Lu Wei. Of course, let's compete to see who can refine a 2nd-grade medicinal pill, the cleansing marrow pill. Raising his eyebrows, Zhang Wenyong said, "As for the bet, let's make it 100 upper-grade essence crystals." Zhang Wenyong always wanted to take back the upper-grade essence crystals that he lost to Ning Yu. He knew that with Wu Yong around, he couldn't use force, so he could only think of a way in alchemy. Observing Ning Yu again, Zhang Wenyong had absolute confidence in winning, because he discovered that Ning Yu's soul force was only at the peak of 1st grade. It hadn't reached the 2nd grade. How could he refine a second-grade medicinal pill if his soul force hadn't reached the second grade? Ningyu, you must not agree. Beside him, Wu Yong hurriedly persuaded. Zhang Wenyong is a middle grade 2 alchemist, and the assessment for him to advance to a grade 2 alchemist is to refine a baptizing marrow pill. At that time, he refined a high-grade baptizing marrow pill. Humph! Ningyu, it's not too late to regret. Zhang Wenyong coldly snorted as he glared at Wu Yong. We can compete in alchemy later. As for now, let's discuss the residual medicinal power of the soul-devouring pill in Lu Shan's body. Ningyu smiled at Wu Yong, indicating that he knew his limits. Ningyu, have you lost your mind? The residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in my body has already been thoroughly expelled out of my body by young master. What are you still discussing for? Lu Shan said in surprise. Ningyu didn't say anything. He just stared at Zhang Wenyong. Did he discover something? Being stared at by Ningyu, Zhang Wenyong felt a little guilty. But after thinking about it, he felt that it was somewhat impossible. After all, the method he used was extremely covert. Only someone with a strong soul force would be able to discover the situation in Lu Shan's body. He didn't believe that Ningyu's soul force was so strong. In his opinion, Ningyu was bluffing. Lu Shan, press your lower abdomen with your hand, then gather all the yuan qi in your body into your dantian. Ningyu said without batting an eyelid. Lu Shan didn't do as he was told. Instead, he looked at Zhang Wenyong. After Zhang Wenyong nodded his head, Lu Shan then followed Ningyu's method. Puchi. However, just as the yuan qi gathered into his dantian, Lu Shan spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was somewhat hideous. Ningyu, what did you do to me? Feeling the pain from his heart, Lu Shan gritted his teeth. Nothing much. I just stimulated the residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in your heart. Ningyu said, What? There's still residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in my body. Lu Shan was greatly shocked. He hurriedly looked at Zhang Wenyong and exclaimed, Young master, is what Ningyu said true? At this moment, Zhang Wenyong's face was ashen. He didn't directly answer Lu Shan's question. Instead, he said to Ningyu, How did you know? If you don't want people to know, don't do it. Ningyu said. Ningyu knew that with the strength of Zhang Wenyong's soul force, it was impossible to help Lu Shan expel the residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in his body. In the past, if he wanted to help Lu Shan expel the residual soul-devouring pill medicinal strength in his body, he only needed to refine a grade 2 medicinal pill, cold fragrance pill. As for now, it was somewhat difficult. Taking a deep breath, Zhang Wenyong said, In that case, you have the confidence to cure Lu Shan. Whether I have the confidence or not doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? Ningyu said indifferently. You only know how to boast. Zhang Wenyong said coldly. As long as you can cure Lu Shan, I'll let you off. I promise not to find trouble with you in the future. Who do you think you are? You still want to find trouble with me. Ningyu's face was gloomy and he was a little angry. Good. Wu Yong, you saw it. He's provoking me. Clapping his hands, Zhang Wenyong said to Wu Yong, This is a personal grudge between us. I hope you won't interfere. Ningyu, why don't we make another bet? As he spoke, Zhang Wenyong shook his wrist, and a storage bag appeared in his hand. Waving the storage pouch, Zhang Wenyong said, There are 300 pieces of high-grade essence crystals inside. As long as you can cure Lu Shan, these essence crystals are yours. Moreover, I'll give you this storage pouch for free. If you can't cure Lu Shan, I don't want the high-grade origin crystals you just won. You just have to kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times. Zhang Wenyong, our bet doesn't seem to be fair. 300 high-grade origin crystals and a storage bag. It would be a waste not to take it. However, Ning Yu still wanted to extort more. He said, "If I lose, I have to kneel down and kowtow to you 3 times. If you lose, you only have to pay 300 high-grade origin crystals." What a joke! Do you think that 3 kowtows is worth more than 300 high-grade origin crystals? Zhang Wenyong laughed. "Then let's not bet." Shrugging, Ning Yu said, "Then how do you want to bet?" From Zhang Wenyong's point of view, unless Ning Yu was a third-grade alchemist, it was impossible for him to cure Lu Shan. A third-grade alchemist under the age of 20? Was that possible? Therefore, Zhang Wenyong believed that he would definitely win this bet. "It's very simple. I want the jade bangle on your wrist." Ning Yu pointed at Zhang Wenyong's wrist and said, "All right, as long as you can cure Lu Shan, this jade bangle is yours." Clenching his teeth, Zhang Wenyong said, "No." Ji Feng hurriedly said, "Zhang Wenyong, that jade bangle of yours is—" Before Ji Feng could finish his words, Zhang Wenyong said, "It's fine. It's impossible for Ning Yu to cure Lu Shan. Ning Yu, I'll give you 2 hours. After 2 hours, if you can't cure Lu Shan, then you have to kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times at the city gates of Tianxian City." Zhang Wenyong said in a deep voice, "Deal." Snapping his fingers, Ning Yu said, "I'll have to trouble you to pass the storage bag and jade bangle to Brother Wu for safekeeping. I don't really trust your character." Swoosh! With a flick of his wrist, Zhang Wenyong threw the storage bag and jade bangle to Wu Yong. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.